the murder of Eduardo Munoz. Police say the suspect shot and killed the victim Friday in a road rage incident near York Road. Chicago still experiencing major gun violence this year. The Tribune reporting the number of shooting victims in the city has passed the 1,000 mark. The political showdown over taxpayer-funded abortions is a step closer to reality as Democrats in the Illinois House yesterday muscled through a plan to have the state pay millions of dollars for state employees and women on Medicaid to have abortions. Democrats couched that debate as a vote over women's health, while Republican Governor Bruce Rauner is vowing a complete veto of that plan. There's a new report that says former Illinois Governor Pat Quinn parked a lot of political friends and clout at IDOT. Tribune first reported on that watchdog report. Court-appointed investigator says they found hundreds who landed jobs at IDOT because only of their political connections and not because of their higher ability or talent. Quinn's former aides are disagreeing with that report. A special prosecutor is taking up the investigation into a Metro East teen's death at a party. Clinton County State's Attorney John Hudspeth yesterday stepped down in that case because he's related to the suspect. Deputies say 18-year-old Jacob Arter died after being punched at a weekend party. A 17-year-old is in custody. And look who's going to be delivering the commencement speech for the University of Illinois this year. Nick Offerman. You know Nick Offerman from the NBC hit comedy series Parks and Recreation. The actor, humorist, and woodworker is native to Manuka and a 1993 graduate of the university's theater program. Kyle Hendricks tossed 6 innings of 4-hit ball to lead the Cubs to a 1-0 win over the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Todd Frazier plated 3 runs, scored 3 more. White Sox drilled Danny Duffy and the reeling Royals 10-5. Celtics clash with the Bulls in the pivotal Game 5 of their set tonight at the TD Garden. The news, a service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today. Just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil, service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. 5:06 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
By now, you've had your chance to watch the mainstream media do everything they can to destroy President Donald Trump. Any pretense of being fair and impartial is now history. While all these years they were playing a game trying to disguise their true intentions, now it's simply Katie bar the door. Certain networks seem to have abandoned whatever journalistic credibility they once held dear. So what to do? Where do you turn? How can you know what's really going on? Just keep it right here. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Go to where the pros go. McGrath Printing and Custom Apparel.
If you're a business owner with commercial printing needs, contact our friends at McGrath Printing Custom Apparel, proud supporters of AM 560 and Food for the Poor. McGrath takes care of all print and apparel needs for companies of all sizes. Chicago's biggest names in manufacturing, pharmaceutical, and medical choose McGrath Printing year after year for truly unmatched customer service and reliability. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first order. That's right, 20% off by mentioning AM 560. For a quick quote, visit McGrathPrint.com, McGrathPrint.com, or call 815-356-5246. That's 815-356-5246. Go to where the pros go.
Go to where the pros go. McGrathPrint.com. McGrathPrint.com.
5:07 and an update on your morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest this morning with Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. The inbound Eisenhower ramp to the outbound Ryan remains closed. Been a tractor-trailer rollover crash there, and it's been there for about 2 hours, but we're told they should be clearing in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, no access right now from the inbound Eisenhower to the outbound Ryan with this rollover tractor-trailer. South side got a hazmat situation just reported in the last few minutes near 53rd and Woodlawn. It's the 1200 block of East 53rd Avenue. Northbound I-55, it's a little heavy. Veterans Parkway to 53. Overnight work clearing out of the 2 left lanes. Roadwork delays in Oswego on 30, and Wolf's Crossing at 111th. Starting later this morning at 7, work is scheduled to close exit ramps from eastbound 8094 and westbound 94 onto both directions of the Indiana Toll Road till May 25th. Traffic is a service of CiCi's. Now at CiCi's, 3 new deep dish pizzas on the unlimited buffet. Dig into new original deep dish and the baked-in flavors and new jalapeno cheddar and garlic parmesan. More flavor, deep in every bite. Just 5 and change at CiCi's. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Very latest with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy and breezy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm for the afternoon, then periods of rain, some heavy with a thunderstorm tonight. Watch for flash flooding and damaging winds, high today 74 and a low tonight of 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
66 at O'Hare and along the lakefront, 65 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And it's interesting with the Trump administration, Amy. Seems like when things start to pick up legislatively, he runs into
a circuit court judge.
Well, right, yeah, judicial block. And when things are going well in the judicial front, like with the Gorsuch nomination and confirmation, which ultimately came to pass, then he's having some problems getting elements of the House caucus together to move like Obamacare replacement. So you've got a couple of seemingly positive indicators on the legislative front. The Freedom Caucus is meeting today, but the reports out yesterday were that Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan, two of the leading, Mark Meadows is the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, Jim Jordan from Ohio, another leading member of the caucus, that they are perhaps very close to a deal on an Obamacare replacement bill. And then, of course...
well, that's good news because 100 days, the big benchmark of his presidencies is Saturday, so they're trying to accomplish a lot this week.
Well, trying to accomplish a lot as soon as they can, which is a good perspective to have. Be quick, but not in a hurry. And then also you've got the movement on the tax plan. Back and forth we went on whether this was going to get done before August, which is to say this year. And Mnuchin recast his position last week that it was going to get done by August. And Trump has spent much of this week telegraphing at least some of the big items that will be included in his structural tax relief plan, including reducing the corporate tax rate to 15% for big corporations and owner-operated companies. That would be a substantial cut. The owner-operated companies, the pass-through, that goes down, would be a top rate from 39.6 all the way down to 15.
Wow.
And, of course, the corporate rate generally is 35. So this would be substantial relief, something I think the business community is looking forward to.
But how will the government make up for that lost revenue? Is that just going to be tacked on to our national debt? I mean, I know we have Steve Moore coming on at 7:37 this morning, and I want to ask him, too, what this means for the middle class. I mean, what's in it for us?
Well, you'll have tax relief across the board as what's being indicated, but in terms of the revenue matter, the lessons of the 80s, so difficult, I don't know why. So Reagan, after the 81, 86 tax cuts, the actual tax revenue generated for the federal government as a percentage of GDP, was 40-year average, actually slightly above it. 40-year average is 18.1% at that time. During the Reagan 7 fat years, 18.2% revenue as a percentage of GDP. So you grow, and the revenue, the corresponding tax revenue grows with you. So it's never, it's rarely ever shouldn't say never. I hate
Never.
absolutes, but
Absolutely.
it's rarely ever a revenue problem when we're talking about government at any level. More likely than not, you're running into spending problems because of the rapaciousness of politicians. And so that's the case here. But now you've got that positive news, or at least that positive news looming.
Right. Well, they're going to roll out a bit of it today in D.C.
So that would be
Good.
from the perspective of whether you're just a Trump supporter or you believe in, I don't know, economic freedom. So if you're a proponent of economic freedom, those are kind of
plus.
good news. I mean, Obamacare replacement, we could have some arguments as we've had on the topic, but it's still advancing the flag, in my opinion. And then you get simultaneous to that, Trump whacking Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they don't have it coming.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding, but
Leave them alone. Let them play their hockey.
so a 20% tax on Canadian lumber,
Soft lumber, they said.
20%
Which I don't know what.
tariff, which is
Yeah.
tax.
Okay. Lumber soft lumber, but yes.
Well, we import about a third of the lumber we use in this country, and 95% of those imports come from Canada. So this is not inconsequential. I understand this is in the context of renegotiation of NAFTA. I understand this is Trump's opening bid to get Canada to reduce its trade barriers for our dairy products. Okay, I get all that. But the 20% whack at Canada, I mean, not that this is going to engender a trade war, but is that where you want to go? What this is really, I mean, if it were left to stand, is a housing tax. CNBC reporting yesterday that these tariffs would increase the cost of the median home in America by a little north of $1,200. And this became a topic of much discussion on our friend Bret Baier's show, with Krauthammer weighing in, with Laura Ingraham weighing in. Do we have Krauthammer?
Yes. It's
one?
Ingram 1, should be.
Well, okay, this is Krauthammer and Ingram going back and forth on the topic.
Last word on
The
this.
word protectionism is always thrown around to anyone who stands up for American workers or American companies.
But
and
you're
I would
standing
say,
up for
well,
some workers, not all workers.
Well, no, I think what Donald Trump campaigned on, which I assume he will do, is on issues like cold-rolled steel. Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, most presidents invoke some type of temporary tariff to make the marketplace efficient. It is wildly distorted now. We had a 20% increase in the dumping of cheap steel in the United States in the first 3 months of this year from the previous year. We had, I think, 18 out of the 20 top steel manufacturers in the world were American. Now I think it's about 3. So there are ancillary effects. We tried globalization and let it all ride on a WTO, and we got Donald Trump as president. So we tried 20 years of this. We tried it.
The ancillary effects are on every industry downstream that uses the product. It's a law of nature. It's a law of economics. If you raise the price, you are going to hurt the people.
We also have American workers who have
purchase.
jobs and families who have a livelihood,
Well,
and the
you-
beauty parlor and the shopping center and all the people who can
Yeah.
actually spend money instead of being on government welfare.
And people in construction are
Or
going to lose
opioids.
those jobs if the price of lumber rises. That's very simple, not complicated.
Yeah, who's right, Krauthammer or Ingram? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. They're both right, but Krauthammer's more right, in my opinion.
Okay.
And
Why?
well, I mean, what Krauthammer's saying is this is the National Association of Home Builders was the estimate $1,236 increase for the average single-family home if this tariff were left to stand. In addition to that, projections, these are just projections, 8,000 jobs lost, mostly in the construction industry, because that's mostly what we're talking about when we're talking about lumber. And even though lumber represents a relatively small cost in terms of the overall cost of a home, it's still a big industry, of course. And so you artificially increase the cost of a good, then that gets passed down the line. This is a housing tax. That's what a tariff is, a tax. And oh, by the way, as people should understand by now, businesses don't pay taxes, consumers do. It's
Yeah,
just,
they
it's just
they pass
passed
the
on.
costs on to the consumer.
Right. And so that's why, while I'm sympathetic to the idea of trying to leverage uh, more market opportunities for our dairy products, so to send a message across the bow of that socialist Trudeau up there,
Yeah.
strange brewland. I mean, I get the.
Does he have a sugar mama wife too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, she's
Yeah, it's age appropriate.
yeah, age appropriate.
I mean, not that
Age
Marhol,
appropriate.
not that that's not a lovely couple.
Did you just speak French again? Le Brigitte Macron.
Well, no, I had something caught in my throat. But so I and that was one of Krauthammer's other points is this is his opening play, Trump's, to get concessions from Canada with respect to their industrial policy and the trade barriers for American goods, specifically dairy products. Okay, if you want to play this game of poker, don't play too long. Don't play too long, because we shouldn't be in the business of stoking trade wars, particularly with allies on the continent here, Canada being the most obvious one.
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
Coming up next, it has happened again. Another Facebook live streaming of a murder. This time, a 11-month-old girl by the hands of her father. I'm just sick. Today, your forecast: showers, heavy thunderstorms can bring some flooding and damaging winds. A high of 74 degrees. Then tonight, cooler with heavy rain and a thunderstorm. Watch for flash flooding if you live in low-lying areas, Dan. And then tomorrow, a brief morning shower. Otherwise cloudy and cooler, a high of 53, even though you live in a high-rise. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Right in downtown Chicago, we still have a cleanup going on of a rollover tractor trailer that has the exit ramp from the inbound Eisenhower to the outbound Ryan closed. It should be opening shortly, but looking right now at the jam cam there, right downtown at the Circle, that access is still blocked off going from the inbound Ike to the outbound Ryan. We're not seeing delays on the Eisenhower, though. Little heavy on the inbound Stevenson approaching Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan is a 2-minute delay from 18th into downtown. Outbound at 87th, it's a crash reported. Also slight delays on inbound I-57 at the Bishop Ford Freeway. Tollways are good, no delays to report in Northwest Indiana. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity. Right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, my foursome is already set. It's going to be me, Wang, Al Cervic, and Dr. Beeper. That's June 15th. It's our golf outing that's coming up. Golf outing at Bolingbrook Golf Club.
Yes, and today's the day, and we are going to be selling our foursomes all day long. So we want you to become a part of the 100 Club of Chicago Day. That's what we're calling it because they are the beneficiaries of our golf outing this year, the 100 Club of Chicago. Later on this hour, we will have Joe Ahern on, who is the president of the 100 Club of Chicago. And what it is you can become a business benefactor for $1,196. Don't know how they came up with that number. And with that, if you're a business owner manager, you can get 25 60-second commercials to promote your business on AM 560. The Answer. Commercials that will run between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday right here on AM 560. The Answer. It's valued at more than $3,000 in advertising.
And the 100 Club, just the little background for people who don't know, it's a nonprofit. What it does is provide for the surviving spouses and dependents of first responders who lose their lives in the line of duty, so police, fire, paramedics. Within 24 hours of a fatality, the 100 Club of Chicago provides the surviving spouse with a check for $15,000.
Wow.
The club provides additional checks to the family within several weeks of the fatality to help defray a portion of the family's debt. The club also provides educational assistance to the surviving spouse and post-secondary education for the children. So it's substantial. I think on education assistance alone, more than $5 million has been provided since 1970.
So we want to raise money here for the 100 Club of Chicago. And how you can help is purchase a foursome for $1,196. And again, with that, you'll receive 25 60-second commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560. The Answer. Many people that we've hooked up with for our business benefactor program have gone on to be successful businesses and continue to advertise right here on the station. To become a business benefactor and take part in our golf outing, which is Thursday, June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club, call this number, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Now, who bought you? You were already purchased?
Well, the advertising package, I should note, is that's like a $3,000 value in advertising, what you just described, those 25, 60 seconds. And you can purchase a foursome to play with me or Joe or Amy for $2,000, and we can any one of us can also record your commercial. Now, you can't purchase my foursome because, of course, I go fast.
I can't believe you already sold. You sold out before we even started this.
That's how it goes.
You're a hot commodity.
People get wind of it, and I'm not even playing well. I shot 80 on Sunday.
Oh my!
Olympia.
Why do you even bring that up?
And I'm just my putting is terrible. Look, if I'm not.
Well, I think you're rushing it when you're on the green. I've watched you golf before.
If I'm not in the mid-70s by June 15th for this outing, even though it's a scramble, I will probably bury my clubs at sea at Bolingbrook Golf Club. So,
or just on one of the holes,
so
yes.
You can keep track of that. But, I'm sold because I'm in high demand. But Amy turns out still available.
Yeah, I'm available. So for $2,000, come and play golf with me. I'm a scratch golfer. I have, unlike Dan.
Scratch, really?
Yeah, I have, unlike Dan, had a hole-in-one, which you haven't had yet.
No.
All those rounds you've played and nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I have not. Interesting. Now, does an invitation to prom accompany your foursome? Yes. Will you also take a designee for any of the participants in your foursome to attend a prom with their son?
Yes, that would be. You know what? I'd look into it.
I mean, as the North American record holder, it's just like kind of a sweetener. If you will.
8 proms under my belt. I'll go for a 9th one. But no, this is a number you call 312-363-6680. If you make the marketing decisions for your company, if you really want the best deal ever while helping a charity, become a business benefactor. Again, you'll get 25 60-second commercials, and you'll have a fun day of golf Thursday, June 15th. At the Bolingbrook Golf Club.
You'll have a fun day. You'll also play golf.
Exactly.
There's nothing fun about golf. I hate the game.
You love the game because it draws you back every time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You think of that perfect shot, that you might have had the last round, and it brings you back. It sucks you in, Dan.
You mean like my 6-iron from 185 out of the trap on number 10 on Sunday that I stuck within 3 inches?
Yeah. That shot. It's shots like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember it well.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You Facebooked that one, didn't you?
Playing it over and over in my head. That's what's actually going on during the show. It's just me thinking about that shot.
Who purchased the Dan Proft piece of meat, huh?
So Andy Bizub from Midwest Performance Cars, high-end performance car.
Kind of like the one you drive.
Well,
I saw you blow past me today on the outbound Kennedy.
Urbane gentlemen like Andy and I understand what a refined bon vivant in Chicago is accustomed to driving, squiring themselves around town or others. Mm-hmm. And Andy runs a great business down there on Lake Street in the city. I played with him before a couple years ago, and his kid, who's now at Baylor, he's a good player. Oh. Andy's a good player, but his kid's a really good player. And so I don't know if he'll be in the foursome or not. But, yeah, so I'm playing with Andy again, which will be fun.
So if you want to play with Team Amy or Team Joe, call this number, 312-363-6680. We can't say the number enough, 312.
Please buy Amy.
363-6680. One year they were going to have me actually walk on a catwalk, and people in the audience would bid on me, kind of like I was a piece of meat. And then we decided that wasn't really the proper thing to do, to auction me off live. So this time
they're doing it for Joe Walsh.
We're doing Joe Walsh is going to run the catwalk.
Well, again, I mean, you've heard the number 312-363-6680. You've heard Amy's plaintive wail, her desperate plea for someone to play golf with her. So, I mean, I don't feel guilty about it. Amy can play a one-some.
Yeah,
it's happened before.
Lonely person, a cart for one.
Hey, Amy, why don't you go off before the outing? You go ahead. You lead the charge out there.
Who's going to go first, Team Joe or Team Amy? Know that you've been taken. 312-363-6680. Help a sister out.
Bated breath. We're waiting to answer.
What do you do to relax?
Well, play golf.
Ah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
How often do you get out?
Well, let's see. Never. Yeah, never.
Support the families of fallen first responders by purchasing a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Culture is everything. When a nation replaces individual rights and the rule of law with silly-hearted, value-free multiculturalism, freedom dies. Last week's terrorist attack in Paris is another awful reminder of how this plays out in practice. Trying to cure a sick culture is like being in the throes of Italian fever. By the time the symptoms show, you're a goner. So how do we give American culture a checkup as to our present ability to be both a free society and the greatest melting pot in human history? Last week's referendum in Turkey that codified Erdogan's authoritarian rule into law was a useful stress test. 97% of Turks are Muslim. Turks living in Germany and the Netherlands, two countries that pride themselves on migrant friendliness, voted 63% and 70% respectively in favor of the referendum, despite opposition from officer-friendlies Merkel and Rutte. By contrast, Turks in the United States, which isn't perceived to be nearly so migrant-friendly, particularly of late, voted 83% against the referendum. The lesson for healthy living? Acting like a doormat to dogmatic Islamists makes them more so, not less so. The prognosis for American culture on this score? A long life ahead.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up, it has happened again. Another Facebook live stream where somebody is murdered, this time a baby, and it took them 24 hours to yank it. We'll explain. But first, let's go into the newsroom. And here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. A search is underway to find a missing one-year-old girl. It's happening right now in suburban Joliet. Will County sheriffs say Samaje Crosby was reported missing late last night. The child last seen in the area of Luana Road and Richard Street, wearing a gray long-sleeve shirt with a cat face and dark blue jeans, no shoes. And again, Will County sheriffs are leading. Community members are actually out in suburban Joliet this morning searching for the missing one-year-old. Federal judge in San Francisco is putting the brakes on President Trump's executive order on sanctuary cities. The executive order threatened to block federal funding to those cities that do not fully cooperate with federal immigration authorities.
This is why we have courts, to halt the overreach of a president and attorney general who either don't understand the Constitution or choose to ignore it.
Yesterday's ruling is expected to be appealed. Meantime, the president insists his border wall will get built. Despite backing off a demand for funding to start construction, Republicans dropping a $1 billion request by the White House to begin building that wall in the latest spending bill being debated. President Trump expected to unveil a sweeping tax reform plan today. It also lowers corporate tax rates from 35 to 15%. The president also yesterday defending U.S. tariffs that have been slapped on Canadian softwood lumber.
People don't realize Canada has been very rough on the United States. Everyone thinks of Canada as being wonderful, and so do I. I love Canada. But they've outsmarted our politicians for many years.
In a White House photo op yesterday, the president says he's not worried about a trade war with America's northern neighbor, noting Canada has a healthy lumber surplus. Looks like the baseball's Miami Marlins are sold to a group led by former Major League Baseball All-Star Derek Jeter and ex-Florida Governor Jeb Bush. The asking price, $1.5 billion. So far, Cuba is weathering the storm of political unrest rocking Venezuela, which is that island's greatest ally and source of hundreds of millions of dollars a year in highly subsidized oil. However, just in recent days, Cuban refineries have gone dark, gas rations have been slashed, and construction materials are nearly impossible to find. Two are in custody following a police chase that ends in a crash on Chicago's southwest side near 16th and Springfield. DuPage County authorities say a man has confessed to attacking a woman this week on the Illinois Prairie Path. Matthew Grover has been linked to other similar attacks. And Chicago's Northside Prep is being called the best public high school in the state of Illinois. The school ranked number 1 in the state among public high schools by U.S. News and World Report. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0. White Sox drill the reeling Royals 10-5. The news a service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99, plus $3 disposal fee for tires, oil service, and repairs. National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. 5:36 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. MyPartsGarage.com is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory. Your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state, next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Right now, MyPartsGarage.com will price match your order, and yes, the shipping is still free. The last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find parts. The average driver in Chicago commutes at least 24 miles per day. People are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed and free shipping.
Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by making his heating and cooling system more energy efficient.
Yes.
But Harvey's afraid of the cost and if he can get a return on his investment.
I am indeed.
Plus, he's nervous about disrupting the businesses that rent space in his building. Harvey doesn't know what to do with an HVAC system that's seen better days. The Air Comfort problem solvers to the rescue. Working as a team, the Air Comfort professionals find simple solutions that make a huge impact on building efficiency and operating costs, with minimal or no disruptions to building operations. HVAC upgrades and retrofits from Air Comfort can save thousands of dollars per year. They save energy, reduce maintenance, and eliminate downtime. And buildings with better energy ratings command higher rents and selling prices, and make tenants happy. Get real solutions from the Air Comfort team of problem solvers. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com and start saving money today. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
5:38. Let's get an update on the roads in our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eisenhower at Austin, just a crash reported. Then it's stop and go from Ashland into the Burn Circle, where the ramp to the outbound Ryan is still closed to clean up an earlier crash. In 33 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound fine at 29. Inbound Kennedy, got a 2-minute delay, Cumberland to Nagel. Outbound, it's fine. Stevenson inbound delay, start around Harlem. 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 22 minutes from I-80 to the merge. And traffic is a service of Cece's. Now at Cece's, 3 new deep dish pizzas. The unlimited buffet. Do get a new original deep dish. And the baked-in flavors of new jalapeno cheddar and garlic parmesan. More flavor, deep in every bite. Just $5 and change at Cece's. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, showers and heavy thunderstorms possible late this afternoon, high 74. Cooler day ahead tomorrow with a brief shower and a high only of 53, currently 64. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and another gruesome event on social media for all to see.
Yeah, this one happened in Thailand. A 21-year-old father, his name is Wong Taplay. He
Something Wong. We too low.
I'm sorry. It's so disgusting. I have to laugh so I don't cry because I came in here with my hair on fire going, this is outrageous. So 21-year-old father gets on the roof of an abandoned hotel in Phuket and hangs his 11-month-old daughter for the world to see. He streamed it live on Facebook. YouTube then, it somehow got onto YouTube. YouTube was notified by authorities. They took it down within 15 minutes. Guess how long it took Facebook to remove this from his page? So it was going looping over and over again for 24 hours. They did nothing for 24 hours. I mean, what this is a string of murders that have been broadcast on Facebook Live. You had Steve Stevens kill that 74-year-old man in Cleveland. You had a 15-year-old girl from Chicago, Lane Tech student, who was raped live on Facebook. You have in Sweden on Tuesday, 3 men were raping a Swedish woman live and streaming it on Facebook. So what is it going to take for them to just shut it down, for it not to be an outlet or to be an option?
I watched a town hall that Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner did on Facebook Live. I watched an interview yesterday from a reporter from the Daily Caller who was at that protest at the Heritage Foundation in D.C. by a bunch of paid Chicago professional agitators on Facebook Live.
But that's appropriate. These are committing murders.
I know.
And raping women. There's nobody.
I understand the difference.
Watching the store.
I understand the difference between a town hall and a murder.
Oh no, I understand.
I got that.
I know.
My point is to say this is a neutral vehicle, and Jason Riley has a really good piece in the Wall Street Journal today on this topic. And he asked the question, who watches a murder on Facebook Live? The murder of Robert Godwin, that
74-year-old
man in Cleveland, Riley observes in this piece, was viewed more than 1.6 million times, even as the victim's grandson pleaded on Twitter for people to stop sharing the link. He concludes his piece, going through some of the cases that you mentioned. Social media is changing our habits, but not our base appetites. Artificial intelligence won't save us from ourselves, referring to, algorithmic solutions to curate the content better, to remove the murders and other violent acts from YouTube or from Facebook. So who does that? The Godwin murder is a little bit more difficult because
he taped it and then uploaded it to Facebook Live.
Well, no, because every news outlet covered it and showed portions of the video.
No one should show pictures of. I mean, I saw one picture and I just said a prayer for her because that is just
here's
horrible. And the dad later killed himself, but that was not part of the broadcast.
Well, here's the thing. Would we be talking about that case if it hadn't been videoed? and post it on
Never.
social media?
Never, ever in a million years.
So
but
what
I
is-
think
so-
that was
so-
his point
No, no,
to
no,
let
no.
the world know.
Well, I
To
don't
let the world see his anger and he taking out on his daughter, and then he kills himself.
No, but what does that say about us is the question.
312-642-5600. When is enough with this Facebook Live? Facebook this morning, ready for this? Oh, this is an appalling incident, and our hearts go out to the family of the victim. There's absolutely no place for content of this kind on Facebook, and it has now been removed. Yeah, they said that 24 hours later. They need somebody on it to be watching and monitoring this in order, but
Monitoring 1.2 billion users annually, and their every post. The question. I mean, this is a question that people don't want to confront. At least people that are like you are suggesting we just take Facebook Live down and have the government ban it
we
or something.
survived without it. We don't
By the way,
need it.
Facebook Live is not the only live streaming application. And
No.
it's not the only live streaming app that has hosted graphic, violent content. Not
I don't
purposefully.
know what else is out there. I'm an old lady.
Right.
I
But-
thought this internet thing was going to go away.
Mhm. But
Keith
what?
just explained what a meme was to me.
All right. Well, welcome to 2017. But here's the thing. I asked the question again. This is a question that people don't want to confront. We're talking about it because it was on Facebook Live. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about this 21-year-old man killing his baby daughter. So what does that say about us? We have to see video in order to be outraged. And when we see video that's outraged, that's violent and graphic and disturbing, then we all chime in. We all have to weigh in. I'm more offended than you are. I'm more morally indignant than you are. Because what you're really saying is I'm a better person. I'm a good person. And if I'm a little bit angrier about it than the next guy, then I'm a little bit better person. Okay.
Well, no, it was just a few weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg said, we have a lot of work to do. And we're going to do all we can to prevent tragedies like this from happening. That was after Cleveland. Well, another tragedy is happening.
He's
What are
not
you doing now?
going to prevent tragedies. Mark Zuckerberg is not going to cure the human condition. Mark Zuckerberg isn't going to rewire sociopaths. All this is a value neutral outlet. It's all Mark Zuckerberg's fault. I mean,
No,
really?
But he could do. I mean, they said they were going to do something about it. What are you doing about it?
What does it say?
Coming out and
What does it say about us that we view it? Mark in Northfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. I have to disagree with you, Dan, because I think Facebook is not a value-neutral outlet when they're censoring political content and taking down Facebook pages of
That's not
Marine Le Pen supporters in France.
That's not
If
that.
they're editing that, and they're not editing live stream murders, they're not a value-neutral outlet.
That's not the point, Mark. You're mixing apples and oranges. That's
No, I'm not though,
Well,
because they're
what-
not a value-neutral outlet.
I know you already said that. I heard you twice the first time. So can I respond now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So it is a portal, Facebook Live, where Bruce Rauner can have a town hall, or somebody can post their suicide. If they got into the business of editing out content, which frankly they are doing ultimately, and it may not be fast enough for Amy, but they're ultimately doing it by taking down the violent content like this murder. Okay, then you can say what are the values or the editorial policies associated with accessing Facebook Live. The whole issue of their political bent is a separate and distinct issue when it comes to how they go after conservative content or conservative web pages versus liberal web pages. I don't necessarily disagree with you on that score, but that's different than what we're talking about here with Facebook Live. This is not political editorial policy that we're talking about with Facebook Live. And oh, by the way, Sheryl Sandberg just said the other day, the chief operating officer of Facebook, we are not here to be the arbiters of truth. That should be something that's generally encouraging to conservatives, and we'll see how that plays out in practice. So I've heard the stories. I've seen the incidents. It's the same thing with Twitter in terms of the left bent of Facebook and Twitter and, most of what comes out of Silicon Valley, which is where all these social media apps effectively are generated. But the Facebook Live issue, where it can be an interview with a reporter or it can be somebody murdering a grandfather, that's not the same thing as we're talking about with, removing content that's related to supporting Marine Le Pen for the president of France.
Well, I respectfully disagree with your analysis.
Okay, thanks for the call, Frank. Mark from Northfield. I mean, is that confusing? Tell me how Facebook Live is prosecuting or persecuting or preventing conservatives from posting content. Are there examples? Okay, well, I'm happy to hear them. But when we're talking about, but that's not the issue
Facebook was
we're talking
pushing
about.
the Democratic ideology on Facebook when it came to what they were promoting as news articles during the election, and they came clean about that. But that's a separate issue.
We use social media to promote upstream ideas and the content on upstream ideas. We use Facebook to promote stories in the community newspapers that I run and started in Illinois. I see conservatives on Facebook all over the place, including my Facebook page, where I routinely post content on multiple pages. Yes, I understand. This just in. Mark Zuckerberg is left. Sheryl Sandberg is left. I got it. Can we separate out issues? What we're talking about is Facebook Live and violent real-world content or other apps that broadcast murders, suicides, and the idea that we're going to attack the portal through which people express their fallen nature, frankly, rather than and pretend like that's somehow going to make society more civilized. And we don't want to take the mirror test. What does it say about us that we consume this content? What does it say about us that we obsess about it? What does it say that we wouldn't even pay attention if it wasn't videoed? That a murder is just a statistic unless it's on video. That seeing somebody or someone beating up their wife or girlfriend isn't even an issue unless I see it, the elevator video. The treatment we gave in this country of Ray Rice versus Greg Hardy.
Ray Rice it was so different because there was video. You're right.
So all the people that are always looking to blame shift. Mark Zuckerberg created this thing, and some people use it to less than honorable ends, and so it's Mark Zuckerberg's fault. I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the annual buy one, get one free sale at Ace, where you'll find amazing BOGOs throughout the entire store. Buy Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, get Scott's Lawn Food free. Buy a Roundup Pump and Go 1.33 gallon, get a Roundup Refill free. Buy Ace 20-pound sunflower seed, get 20-pound wild bird feed free. Hurry in now to save big on these and many more buy one, get one free offers throughout the store. Sale ends Sunday. Offers valid at participating stores. Scott's products cover 5,000 square feet. See store for details.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more.
Hey, spring is here, birds, bees, and unfortunately seasonal allergies. And the last thing you need is a pillow you're allergic to. And yes, My Pillow is hypoallergenic. It's American made. There's a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. And right now you can receive 50% discount on that MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all for the price of 1. And you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need, no longer waking up to a stiff neck or headache. Here's what you do. Call this number, 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit mypillow.com, 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I found out several years ago that I have hepatitis C, and I didn't want to be one of those guinea pigs that the doctors wanted to try all sorts of different things on. So I was looking for a more healthy alternative, and that's how I found Balance of Nature. I've had absolutely no symptoms since I started taking Balance of Nature. Within 3 months, my liver enzymes were next to normal, and they had been very highly elevated. I enjoy a very full life. I own several businesses and working 60 hours a week, and before I started taking Balance of Nature, I couldn't even work full time.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Most folks are scared to even begin the process of buying a new car. No doubt shopping for a new vehicle can be intimidating. You want a dealer that really helps you get the best car for you and your family and skips the high-pressure nonsense. That's Joe Cotton Ford. They're here to help you find the new Ford car or truck that fits your lifestyle and your budget with no hassles, no drama, no high-pressure sales tactics. Really. You just can't find that kind of great customer service these days, so relax. Car buying doesn't have to stress you out. At Joe Cotton Ford, you have their word. Your satisfaction is their top priority. In fact, that's why Joe Cotton Ford is one of the highest repeat customer dealerships in Chicagoland. They take pride in working with generations of Ford buyers and their families, whether they're buying their first vehicle or their 14th. Get to Joe Cotton Ford and drive home a new Ford car or truck today. Gary and North Avenue and Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. That's joecottonford.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, text DEGREE to 35517. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 88% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, text DEGREE to 35517. That's DEGREE to 35517.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Eisenhower, seeing delays from Manheim to Harlem, then it is jammed up from California to the Burns Circle. And we're seeing the ramp to the outbound Ryan still closed to clean up an earlier crash. It's 40 minutes from Thorndale to downtown, outbound 30. Edens is fine. Inbound Kennedy slow from the River Road toll to Canfield. 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. Inbound Stevenson already 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway at Stop and Go from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Traffic is a service of Staples. HP Savings Month at Staples means big savings on great HP products all month long. Now get up to $100 off an HP OfficeJet Pro printer. It's lightning fast, two-sided printing saves you money. Ends 4/29. Restrictions apply. See staples.com/HP month. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and breezy. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm for the afternoon. Storms can bring flash flooding and damaging winds. High 74. Rain continues tonight, low 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 64 at O'Hare, 66 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Jewel Osco. Shop Jewel Osco's 4-day sale. Save on 6-ounce blueberries. 2 packages are $3. Get USDA choice beef chuck roast or value pack steaks for $2.49 a pound. And selected Yoplait yogurt cups are only 35 cents each. Limit 12. 5:59 in Chicago. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560. The Answer. A search is underway to find a 1-year-old girl who disappeared in suburban Joliet overnight. 2 are in custody following a police chase that ended in a crash on Chicago's southwest side. Police say officers began following a stolen car early this morning near 16th and Springfield. A man facing life in prison for the death of a Chicago police officer, David Blake, in 2010. Cook County jury found Bernard Williams guilty yesterday of first-degree murder. Cubs winners over the Pirates. White Sox pound the Royals 10-5. And showers and heavy thunderstorms in your forecast today. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. See you in the Supreme Court. That's what President Trump has just tweeted the morning after another executive order got blocked in court.
I hope this president learns from his litany of mistakes. His first 100 days have been a disaster.
That's San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera, who challenged the president's order threatening to withhold funding from so-called sanctuary cities protecting criminal illegal immigrants. The judge said the president does not have the authority to put strings on federal spending. Now more of the White House reaction from Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the White House is vowing to take the sanctuary cities case to the nation's highest court. In a statement, Press Secretary Sean Spicer called the judge's decision erroneous and a gift to the criminal gang and cartel element in our country. The ruling came from the Ninth Circuit, the Court of Appeals that ruled against a travel ban. President Trump has been slamming the Ninth Circuit on Twitter this morning, saying it has a terrible record of being overturned and calling both rulings ridiculous. He also tweeted, they used to call this judge shopping, messy system. Dave?
Rachel, amid all the worry about North Korea's nuclear weapons, the full Senate will go to the White House today to get a briefing, and then members of the House will get their own briefing at the Capitol as the U.S. bolsters South Korea's defense.
Trucks carrying part of a U.S. missile defense system heading toward a deployment site in central South Korea. Roadside, protesters aren't happy, but South Korea's government says the Terminal High-Altitude Missile Defense Unit will protect cities against North Korean missiles. This a day after North Korean state media reported massive live fire drills involving jets, submarines, and more than 300 artillery guns. In the Asia Bureau, Alistair Wanklin, Fox News.
The White House will unveil a tax reform plan today, including in it a big cut for businesses, reducing the corporate tax rate from 35% to 15%. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
There's been a lot of talk recently about fake news, and it's gotten a lot harder to know who in the media you can trust. Too often, reading just the headlines can be misleading. You need to turn to a place that you can trust, a place that gives you more than just the headlines and more than just the mainstream media spin. What you need are answers. That's why we're here. Get the latest news. Find out what it means and why it's important to you. Real news, real answers. Join us on AM 560. The Answer.
In your business, you trust people who time and time again get the job done. At Indeed.com, we deliver 5 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. That's why over 3 million businesses use Indeed when they're hiring, because getting the job done matters. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave. But you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to Harrys.com now and enter code 1137 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's Harrys.com. code 1137.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So some news on sanctuary city status, part of Trump's efforts to reinstitute the rule of law in this country with respect to immigration policy. He's taken, as has Attorney General Jeff Sessions, a aggressive posture towards sanctuary cities because you don't get to pick and choose what federal laws you abide as a municipal government. At least that's the philosophy of the Trump administration. Do you agree with that? Because that is in controversy. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. They got a San Francisco-based federal district court judge, William Orrick, to...
I'm sure he doesn't lean left.
Right. To enjoin a portion of Trump's executive order on sanctuary city funding. The interesting thing, too, is the decision really rests on what Trump has said rather than the law. So it's another political statement. It's an op-ed masquerading as a judicial opinion. Orrick, the judge, saying that Trump calling the order a weapon, quote unquote, against communities that disagree with his preferred immigration policy was evidence that the administration intended the EO to apply broadly to all sorts of federal funding and not a relatively small pot of grant money at the Department of Justice, as the Department of Justice had argued. So this is another case, much like the executive order with respect
to
the
travel ban,
the temporary travel ban for those handful of countries. That will be appealed and it will be litigated, and the White House will win.
Right, and the White House said that this will be taken up by the Supreme Court, but they said the rule of law suffered another blow as an unelected judge unilaterally rewrote immigration policy for our nation. So they say, this case is, one more example of egregious overreach by a single unelected district judge.
Yes, and the judge
was putting his own ideology before the facts and before the law.
The judge was correct that the order that Trump, in the order signed by Trump, it spoke about all federal funds, not just law enforcement grants that Sessions said would be targeted. Of course, Sessions is focused on law enforcement grants because he's the Attorney General, and that's what he has jurisdiction over. But with respect to the order, he did uphold the government's ability to enforce conditions on existing grants, the federal statute which pertains to sanctuary cities. So the department will continue to enforce existing grant conditions and will continue to enforce a section of the federal statutory code that pertains to sanctuary cities. It does not enjoin the department's independent legal authority to enforce the requirements of federal law applicable to communities that violate federal immigration law or federal grant conditions. So this will be litigated, and perhaps it will necessitate more clarity in the executive order. But ultimately, with respect to the philosophical position that the federal government has the ability to attach strings to federal money as it pertains to law, the rule of law, federal money you don't necessarily have to access. So it's think about highway funds and speed limit strings that the federal government attaches for highway funds and those sorts of things. So that's where it's at. I know this is a big story, and it's another delay, and the left is getting through the courts what they can't get through elections and through legislatures. I understand that. I mean, except in places like Chicago and a couple hundred sanctuary cities around the country.
Well, yeah, in those cities, they cited violence. They cited incidents of violent crimes committed by undocumented immigrants in sanctuary cities, and went on to say that they have the blood of dead Americans on their hands, which is a pretty poignant rhetoric But it's true. I mean, I've changed my mind completely about sanctuary cities. This is a place to harbor fugitives and let them not follow the law.
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult position to stake out. Now, Tiny Dancer's doing it here, but just the substance of the position. We are not going to assist law enforcement, federal law enforcement, that we otherwise work in tandem with on a whole range of issues, from gang crime to terrorism.
DEA, ATF, they're all working together, except for that.
We're not going to
Remember that
we're not going to assist them in the Trump administration priority of removing from this country violent predators who shouldn't be here. That's a tough position to stake out. I know there's a lot of sophistry around it because that's not the position they take. They talk about dreamers and this and that, but that's not what we're talking about. So
we're talking about people who undermine our safety and our freedoms and could commit a crime against us or somebody we love.
Speaking of...
Is that the American dream?
Yeah, speaking of safety being undermined, Ivanka Trump was in Europe for a women's power event.
I don't know how to call these things, but she was there for an event, and it was an event, right? Especially when the crowd got involved. And Angela Merkel was a few rows seats down from her.
Angela Merkel was there. Lagarde, the former IMF head, who was, by the way, found guilty of negligence. She was indicted. She was found guilty of negligence in conferring a massive payment to a wealthy French businessman. But okay, let's just paper over that because we need to hold Ivanka Trump up over her father. Here's how it started.
Sadly, the United States is one of the only countries in the world, the only developed country in the world that doesn't have a paid leave policy for the benefit of families. So that is something I'm very, very proud of my father's advocacy. Long before he came into the presidency, but during the campaign, including in the primaries, he's been a tremendous champion of supporting families and enabling them to thrive. In the new reality, you would hear the reaction from the audience, so I need to address one more point. Some attitudes towards women your father has publicly displayed in former times might leave one questioning whether he's such an empowerer for women. How do you relate to that? Or are things changing? Or what's your comment on that? I've certainly heard the criticism from the media, and that's been perpetuated. But I know from personal experience, and I think the thousands of women who have worked with and for my father for decades when he was in the private sector are a testament to his belief and solid conviction in the potential of women and their ability to do the job as well as any man.
She handled herself beautifully.
Other
really.
than the underlying policy of mandatory paid leave, which she's wrong about, and so is her father. But in terms of the dealing with the booing and the hissing by the children in the audience, she is.
It's hard not to love Ivanka Trump.
Well, she's unflappable. She also, while she's over there in Berlin, she had a sit down with the Today Show. Listen to her very politely correct the characterization of her as an accomplice.
There's a lot of attention on your visit here from international media, from the German press, as you know, your front page news here in Berlin. One paper called you the first whisperer in a big front page headline, asking whether you will steer your father toward a more moderate course or whether you will be a loyal accomplice. How do you answer that question?
Well, I don't like the intonation of that, which assumes that. I think, I don't like the word accomplice because, in this context, I don't know that that's productive. I think one of the things I value about my father as first a businessman and now as a leader of our country is that he curates ideas and he likes to hear from people with divergent viewpoints. And that's not always true in politics. It's actually seldom true.
It's so soothing, isn't it?
I
I'm sorry,
asleep.
Dan, are you there, Dan? No, but when you hear the word accomplice, it has a negative connotation as if they're committing a crime.
Yeah,
you're his accomplice.
I want to replace the humpback whale mating calls that I use when I'm ready to go to sleep to just kind of get me in that happy place with just Ivanka reading anything, just answering questions.
Yeah.
Isn't it just so?
It's so soothing.
Just listen to that again. Hey, we're gonna take it down a notch. Hey, can you lower the lights in here?
There's a lot of attention on your visit here from international media, from the German press. As you know, your front page news here in Berlin. One paper called you the first whisperer in a big front page headline, asking whether you will steer your father toward a more moderate course or whether you will be a loyal accomplice. How do you answer that question?
Well, I don't like the intonation of that, which assumes that. I think, I don't like the word accomplice because, in this context, I don't know that that's productive. I think one of the things I value about my father as first a businessman and now as a leader of our country is that he curates ideas and he likes to hear from people with divergent viewpoints. And that's not always true in politics. It's actually seldom true.
Man, I feel great after that.
I think my blood pressure went down.
Boy,
reminds me of Melania.
She's heart healthy. Her rhetoric and rhetorical styling.
No, you were off when Melania read Party Animals.
Yeah,
it was a book that she read during the Easter egg roll at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
I will have a special book for you.
All the kids.
Party Animals. Did you know about the book? No. So, Kathy Lee Gifford wrote it a while back. And I really like that book because it shows that we are all different, but we are all the same.
Yeah, it's the same. And she went on to read the book, and there's a kid in the front row who's seriously salivating just looking at her.
That's
she has this beautiful chiffon pink dress on.
That wasn't a kid. That was Jim Acosta. But I tell you, this is it's interesting that her role over there and her ambassadorship, if you will, unpaid and kind of untitled. But her ambassadorship for the administration across the pond, I thought, she holds her own. She holds her own in like a very dignified, graceful
unlike
way.
anything I've ever seen, really. I mean, really, can you compare her to anybody?
Yeah,
I really can't.
I'd like to hear her. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard Jared Kushner speak.
I don't think so either.
I'm not sure if he can, but if he can, I'd like to hear him speak generally, and I'd like to hear them together. And see if maybe that's even more soothing than that. I mean,
you really lowered my blood pressure.
I'm just, I'll tell you. I mean, I think if you got to be careful because if you're listening to Ivanka Trump answer a question while you're driving, I mean, that should put you to sleep just like that. Hit the median.
Support the families of fallen first responders by purchasing a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
Today, some showers, a heavy thunderstorm. The nasty stuff is passing through Peoria as we speak, and it's going to bring some flooding and some high winds, possibly damaging winds. A high of 74 degrees. Tonight, rain and a thunderstorm likely. And then tomorrow, a brief morning shower, otherwise cloudy, breezy, and a lot cooler, a high of 53. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Traffic's already nasty. On the inbound Eisenhower, see delays Wolf to Harlem, then Sacramento to the Burns Circle, where the jam cam shows us that ramp to the outbound Rhine is still closed. Before 3 this morning, there's a rollover tractor trailer. They're still cleaning it up. It's 55 minutes from Thorndale to downtown. Outbound, it's 33 minutes, and also the ramp from westbound Congress to the outbound Rhine is closed because of this. Edens is 21 minutes, like Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, crash at Nagel in the right lane. It's 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Stevenson, already 53 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The Rhine, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 421. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
No
someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you get in your car, you program your destination into the GPS. You need the best directions to get to where you want to be. The same is true for retirement. You need a voice to guide you along the way. And in Chicago, that voice is Jack Taboda. Join Jack every Saturday morning at 7, right here on 560 The Answer. Jack's nearly 40 years of experience can help make your retirement journey feel like a drive down easy street. Take that first step. Tune in Saturday mornings at 7 for retirement planning with Jack Taboda of Taboda and Associates.
AM 560, The Answer.
Another putt's in the cup. Dan and Amy, and it's golf day here.
Of course I clap, because
Yeah,
I'm like a trained seal.
And so here's what we're doing. We're doing our annual golf outing. We're doing it at Bolingbrook Golf Club, which is a great course that we have done it for the last 100 years.
Well, more like 8 years.
Okay.
This is our 8th year.
So
and it's been at
close.
various courses, but this year again, it's at the Bolingbrook Golf Club, which is a very challenging course, Dan. How many balls did you lose last year?
I don't lose balls.
Oh.
Plus, it's a scramble.
Yeah, I know, but there's some holes that have a lot of water obstacles on it.
I'm a precision player. So here's the thing. There's 2 shotgun starts, 7:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon. That'll be when you and I play, 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
Because we're on the air in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. There's luncheon, there's a silent auction, and we've got our business benefactor program that we're running again. Amy, why don't you tell them about that?
Yeah, so if you're a business owner or manager or the person who makes marketing decisions for your company, here's the deal. Purchase a foursome for $1,196. And with that, you'll receive 25 60-second commercials to promote your business on AM 560 The Answer. Now, the commercials will run between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And it's valued at more than $3,000 in advertising, but you're only paying $1,196 for it, which is a great deal. If you want to become a business benefactor, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. And the charity that we paired up with this year is the 100 Club of Chicago.
And we're pleased to have Joe Ahern from the 100 Club of Chicago joining us this morning. Joe, thanks for being with us.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
Dan. Thanks for having me.
Great to partner with you and support the good work that the 100 Club of Chicago does. And why don't you explain to us what that good work is?
Yeah, well, the 100 Club has been around for 50 years. This is actually our 50th anniversary. And we have given away over $10 million to families of fallen police officers and firefighters. We started out in 1966. We've actually had 261 line-of-duty deaths. And any police officer, firefighter, state, local, federal law enforcement officer in Cook or Lake County that dies in the line of duty, we give the widow $50,000, and then we send all the kids to college. Oh. And sadly, we have, right now, we have 261 families that are 100 Club family members. And we have 21 kids in college, and we have 67 more sons and daughters of police officers and firefighters who have paid the ultimate sacrifice that we're going to be sending to college in the future. And it's through events like this and the golf outing that will allow us to continue to do this kind of work.
So the need is great to raise money for your organization. And do you meet these kids who you put through college? You meet with the widows? I mean, just tell us what that's like.
Yeah, we do, Amy, and it's, I say it's an emotional roller coaster because you're there at the saddest day of their life. And then when you see the kids go on to college and then come out and go into, a new career, it's the most rewarding thing that you could possibly imagine. In 2010, when I joined the 100 Club, police officer Mike Flisk, if you recall, he was an evidence technician that was tragically murdered, and he had 3 sons and a daughter. And Peg she went on to DePaul University with a 100 Club scholarship, and then John Marshall Law School. She graduated last year, and then she passed the bar exam and is now a state's attorney with Cook County. And so, their son, Michael John, is a firefighter. Brian is getting his master's degree, and Tim is in the trades. So these are great American families who are generations of police officers and firefighters that serve all of us. They protect our businesses, our families, and our communities. And this is a way for us to give back.
And sometimes, I mean, not to get crass about this, but it's like with veterans organizations, some of which I've been affiliated in the past. People say, well, why are you raising money? The VA takes care of that. And then you have to educate them, well, the VA doesn't take care of this and this and this,
Right.
and you have to fill the gaps. And so the kind of the same question here is people may think, well, the death benefit, doesn't the death benefit that a fallen police officer or firefighter, their family received, doesn't that cover everything? And clearly, by evidence of what you guys do, it doesn't.
No, these are not wealthy families, Dan, as you well know. And sadly, with the state of Illinois, some of these families are waiting 18 months to even get death benefits, and which is very difficult. So they're in a crisis situation. And the one thing about the 100 Club, because it's supported by donations and by memberships, and when I show up, they're in crisis. I'm usually there within the first 24 hours. To tell them that I'm from the 100 Club family and we'll be there for the rest of their life to try and help them. And we're able to give them $50,000 immediately. There's no forms to fill out. There's no bureaucracy. There's no waiting. We're there to help them with the immediate need of financial need, but then also the important part is that they know that there's people there that care about them. That goes even beyond the financial assistance and the educational assistance, is that they know that there are literally thousands of people and tens of thousands of people who recognize the ultimate sacrifice that they have paid.
Well, and one of the things I think it's so important to these nonprofits in all spaces is trying to figure out who has the trust relationship with the beneficiaries, right? And so the importance of having a trust relationship with these police officers and firefighters and first responders that you described. And so just speak to that in terms of how you work with the police departments, fire departments, the FOP, the Firefighters Union, to really develop the trust so that they understand that the 100 Club is there for you, and this is something that's been done over 50 years.
Yeah, the last 6.5 years, I have spent basically my 24/7 is with police officers and firefighters, and I've found them to be some of the finest people that I've ever come in contact with. This past Saturday,
even more redeeming than people in the media in Chicago. That doesn't seem possible.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dan?
boy, that's a high bar.
But you've been dedicated to you mentioned 24/7 for 6.5 years. How is it different than anything else that you've done?
Well,
because you've accomplished a lot in your life, but this is something new.
Well, thanks, Amy. You get a chance to see people that have really paid a terrible price, and then to come back and realize that there's people out there that care about them, and then to see their kids go on and continue to build the legacy of their family. It's really powerful. This Friday night, we're going to have the Valor Awards, and we're going to honor 24 police officers and firefighters in Cook and Lake County who have performed extraordinary acts of courage and bravery. So we go beyond just, providing for the line of duty death, but for the last 37 years, we also have supported given Valor Awards to police officers and firefighters who have performed extraordinary acts of courage. I'm there at the Police Academy and Fire Academy to meet those graduates when they're coming through, and you get to meet some of these young men and women that are really, devoting their entire life to supporting and keeping us safe, and they're really great people, the people that I'm working with today.
Yeah, so we're hoping to raise $20,000 to $30,000 this year through our golf outing, which takes place Thursday, January 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. To become a business benefactor, cannot say the number enough. Operators are standing by, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680.
Has your foursome sold yet?
My foursome has not sold. So if anybody wants to play golf with me, and I'm a ringer, I'm a scratch golfer. Wink,
yeah.
wink, nod. Then call right now, 312-363-6680 to be on Team Amy or Team Joe. Team Dan's already sold out, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But as a way of saying thank you, we will give you 25 60-second commercials that will air right here on AM 560.
Now, as a little bit of incentive, Team Amy foursome is known in the industry here as the Kim Jong-il foursome. Because much like when Kim Jong-il played his first round of golf, he had 11 holes in one.
Oh, that's right. I'm sure he did.
And that was attested to by Kim Jong-un, which is good enough for me. Your team always comes in with an
amazing score. I think we were 18 under last year.
No,
27 under the year before.
It's more, yeah. You're
35 under the first year.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible the quality of golf that you and different partners play year after year afafter year.
I have an advantage.
It's astounding
because there's the women's tee, which is a lot closer in Bolingbrook than it is at other courses.
We're
going to get rid of those, right? We're all just going to shoot off the same tee.
Well, I think that would only be enlightened. But in addition to that, we're going to go ahead, and we've talked to some of our friends in the military. We're going to have drone surveillance of your foursome this year to make sure that we record every shot to see if the numbers match your scorecard this year. I mean, just for fun.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So the number again, 312-363-6680 to become a business benefactor or to purchase Team Amy. Well, to purchase Amy to be part of Team Amy.
Exactly.
I guess that's the way to put it.
Yeah. And of course, the proceeds will go to help the 100 Club of Chicago. So,
Joe Ahern from the 100 Club of Chicago, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
Step right up, folks. See if you can outdrive the amazing golf ball whacker guy.
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
Oh, this roof is so needy.
Call Crumweedy.
How do you spell that?
KRUMW.
Oh, just go to myroofisneedy.com.
If your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. This is Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Mark Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business, and we have been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You can't do that unless you do really great roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. A lot of companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty.
Our installation is outstanding. No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the annual buy one, get one free sale at Ace, where you'll find amazing BOGOs throughout the entire store. Buy Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, get Scott's Lawn Food free. Buy a Roundup Pump and Go 1.33 gallon, get a Roundup refill free. Buy Ace 20-pound sunflower seed, get 20-pound wild bird feed free. Hurry in now to save big on these and many more buy one, get one free offers throughout the store. Sale ends Sunday. Offers valid at participating stores. Scott's products cover 5,000 square feet. See store for details.
If you're familiar with cloud computing, you probably know that Amazon Web Services offers a complete set of secure compute, storage, application, and deployment services that help companies launch and scale their IT infrastructures while lowering costs. But did you know that you're still responsible for protecting your own AWS-based assets, meaning your applications and data, from advanced cyber threats? Protect your AWS with Barracuda Network's advanced firewall solutions. Visit AWS Marketplace or barracuda.com/AWS to learn more. AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next on Chicago's Morning Answer, you won't want to miss this.
The Navy SEAL who killed bin Laden. We'll talk to Robert O'Neill. His book, The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden, My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior, at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, the search is underway to find a 1-year-old girl who disappeared in Joliet. Will County sheriffs are on the job. They say Major Crosby was reported missing late last night. Child seen in the area of Luana Road and Richards wearing a gray long-sleeve shirt with a cat face and dark blue jeans. A former Chicago auto mechanic who was on the FBI's most wanted list will be in Cook County Court today. Fidel Urbina was arrested in 1998, charged with kidnapping, beating, and sexually assaulting a woman in Chicago after posting bail Authorities say he went out and raped and killed Gabriela Torres. Urbina's been on the run for nearly 2 decades before finally being nabbed in Mexico. No one hurt following a report of shots fired on the Eisenhower Expressway. Troopers say in Chicago this morning they received a call about a shooting on I-290 near Keeler. Lanes were temporarily closed. Federal judge in San Francisco putting the brakes on President Trump's executive order on sanctuary cities. The executive order threatened to block federal funding to those cities that do not fully cooperate with federal immigration authorities.
This is why we have courts, to halt the overreach of a president and attorney general who either don't understand the Constitution or choose to ignore it.
Yesterday's ruling will be appealed. 2 are in custody following a police chase that ended in a crash on Chicago's southwest side. Officers began following a stolen car early this morning near 16th and Springfield. DuPage County authorities say a man has confessed to attacking a woman this week on the Illinois Prairie Path. Matthew Grover took responsibility for a similar attack in September and may have been involved in other incidents. And it's happened to United Airlines again. But this time it involves a rabbit, a giant rabbit, on a flight from London to Chicago. Media reports confirmed in Britain today say Simon the Giant Rabbit was on a Boeing 767 United Airlines flight en route to its new owner and was found dead after the plane landed at O'Hare. Rabbit breeder Annette Edwards telling newspapers in Britain the 3-foot-long rabbit would have likely become the largest in the world, like its father, Darius, who was over 4 feet long. The owner says Simon apparently had a vet's checkup before the United flight and was fit as a fiddle. Something apparently strange happened to the rabbit on the flight. A statement from United says they're saddened by the news and they're reviewing the matter. Cubs 1-0 winners over the Pirates. White Sox drilled the Royals 10-5. Celtics and Bulls in Game 5 of their first-round playoff series tonight. The news, a service of CiCi's. Now at CiCi's, 3 new deep dish pizzas on the unlimited buffet. Dig into new original deep dish and the baked-in flavors of new jalapeno cheddar and garlic parmesan. More flavor deep in every bite. Just $5 and change at CiCi's. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's working great on me. I can't believe it. I've been having a lot of health issues. You know, my muscles, my legs, my knees. So ever since I've been taking this, I've really, really improved. My blood pressures are way down. My cholesterol's are back to normal. I'm in just good shape. I can't believe this thing is going. I even lost 6 pounds when I went to the doctor. And he wanted to know what I'm doing to lose 6 pounds. But I'm not doing anything. I just taking this Balance of Nature, and it's working out for me. And it'll work for anybody, I know.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
The success of a mid-sized business often comes down to one thing: managing your cash flow. I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, we take a personalized and proactive approach to structuring your cash management solutions to keep your financial assets safe and working for you. Our automated accounts receivable and accounts payable technology allows your business to grow without adding to your overhead expenses. And what truly sets Signature Bank apart is our personal approach. We get to know your business by rolling up our sleeves to work alongside you. Call me today for a review of your company's operational challenges.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
6:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Like on the eastbound Adams Tollway and the Kennedy, traffic is jammed from Lee Street to Lawrence after an earlier crash near Nagel. Once you get to the Kennedy, we're looking at 40 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Inbound Eisenhower, 55 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. The ramp to the outbound Ryan is still closed to clean up an earlier wreck. Outbound, it's 34 minutes, post office to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of Staples. HP Savings Month at Staples means big savings. Great HP products all month long. Now get up to $100 off an HP OfficeJet Pro printer. It's lightning fast. Two-sided printing saves you money. Ends 4/29. Restrictions apply. See staples.com/HP month. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Showers, heavy thunderstorms, some flooding and damaging winds are possible as you bring in those heavy storms. High 74. Currently 63. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. It's been 6 years since SEAL Team 6 raided Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and took out the mastermind of the 9/11 terrorist attack. And one of the SEALs that was on that mission is Robert O'Neill. He's the author of the book, came out a couple years back, The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. And we're pleased to be joined by Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill. Now, Mr. O'Neill, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, there's was a lot of controversy surrounding your book and just the whole discussion about whether any members of SEAL Team 6 or SEALs in general should talk about what they did or didn't do in combat. And I know you've addressed it before, but just to kind of set the table, your thought process to ultimately write the book that you wrote in the context of, I'm sure, controversy you could see coming.
Well, I've heard controversy before. I've also seen a lot of SEAL books before, but mine is the first book that involved the big missions I was a part of, Captain Phillips, the rescue of the lone survivor, and the bin Laden raid that was actually submitted to the Pentagon. I let them read it, and they approved it. So it's the first Pentagon-approved book out there. A number of reasons I came out with the initial story was after meeting with 9/11 families, hearing their stories and having them say just that it helped a little bit with the healing process, even though there would never be closure from 9/11. Having a face and a name, tell them the story that the ultimate mastermind behind the horrific attacks was dead. And if I could help that small group, I could help more. So I came out with it then. And as the years have gone by, it's this book, The Operator, is not about me alone. It's about the life of the operator, and that's all the men and women out there, this Rangers, SEALs, anyone you would call an operator, a Green Beret, and their life. It starts off in Montana, how I joined the Navy kind of on accident without knowing how to swim. Got through SEAL training, met the guys, and just kind of stayed with a great team for a long, long time. It's about our brotherhood together, but the ultimate point of the book, the bin Laden raid's in there because I was a part of it, and I did shoot Osama bin Laden. But it's like in the 20 chapters. There are more stories up there. It's a biography about everything that we did. I was with guys that did missions before 9/11. We were working in places like Kosovo, like Albania, parts of Africa. I was part of a team that took down a Russian tanker in the Persian Gulf that was smuggling Iraqi oil in 1999. It's just a lot of stories. It's a total lifestyle. But the bottom line is it doesn't matter where you come from. You can do anything you want as long as you stay positive, avoid the negativity, and work hard and never quit. And that's what this book is about.
And I should just clarify, the book is just recently published. I think I misspoke. I was talking about when this first surfaced that you were the Navy SEAL that killed Bin Laden, the controversy around that, and the news articles and stuff. But this book is, and I'll repeat it again, The Operator, Firing the Shots That Killed Osama Bin Laden, and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. This is a new book just out.
Yes, it came out yesterday.
Okay.
And it's a good read. It's a book, believe it or not, people can relate to, because a lot of the stuff that we did, especially in training, the very, very difficult training to get to where we had to be as elite Navy SEALs, can be applied to life. And again, it comes back to people skills. You find how much better you perform if you're good to people, good to your team, and communicate effectively. And we learned all these, and I've actually been able to apply them to the private sector, which is a difficult transition, going from an elite SEAL team out to the world, if you will.
So, Robert, tell us about that night that you killed the most wanted terrorist in the world with 3 shots. Did he say anything? Did he express fear? What was it like?
We didn't get to say anything. I only saw him alive for probably less than a second. I was fortunate enough on that mission to be. I wasn't at the front of the line of guys going through the house. I was about 7 or 8 guys back, and it was interesting because it was a team that we all knew we probably weren't coming home. This is a very, very high risk mission. The house is probably going to blow up. He's going to blow up. Our helicopters will get shot down because we're invading a sovereign nation. So I was able to stand back and watch really cool guys do really cool stuff. I remember being proud of my guys because they're all acting as the utmost professionals in a place where we know we're going to probably die. We got to a spot going up the stairs where the famous analyst from one of the government agencies who found Bin Laden said Khalid Bin Laden would be. And I was able to watch how one of my guys handled that situation. And I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I do detail it in the book. But when that happened, I remember thinking, I really hope we live through tonight, because people need to know what this team did on these stairs. And then we went further up the stairs, and that's where I got into a position where I would be actively involved. I turned into the number 2 man. So one guy ahead of me and then me, and we're pointing at the final set of stairs because the other guys are going into different rooms and clearing other unknown areas. And the guy in front finally said something to tell me we need to get up the stairs and through that curtain, because we're assuming we know Bin Laden's up behind the curtain, and we know he's going to be putting on a suicide vest. And I remember thinking not bravery, not macho, but thinking, okay, I'm tired of thinking about this. Let's get it over with. He's going to blow up, but we're going to go make sure he does. So we went up the stairs, and the guy in front of me sort of jumped on the people who were sort of blocking it, and he assumed that they were wearing suicide vests. So I watched a hero jump on people, giving his own life, on the bomb that didn't go off, just so the guy that was behind him could get the shot. I watched him jump on those people. I turned to the right, and there he was, 3 feet in front of me. Bin Laden was standing there with his hands on his wife's back. And just the instant I saw him, he's taller than I thought, skinnier than I thought. His beard is shorter. It's gray. That's his nose. That's him. He's not surrendering. He's a threat. And in that blink of an eye, it was time to shoot him, because I dealt with suicide bombers before. I've seen them. They're very, very fast and violent and permanent, and I wanted to make sure I killed him so he couldn't set his vest off. He ended up not having one on, but I shot him twice, and he went down. And then just being in the room with his wife, I remember putting her on the bed that was in the room, and seeing his 2-year-old child was in there. And as a father, I looked down and thought, you know what? That poor kid has got nothing to do with this whole fight. It's a shame. And that's when other SEALs started coming in the room, and we were talking, and it hit me that Bin Laden had been shot. And I actually had one of my guys come up to me and say, are you okay? And I said, yeah, what do we do now? And he laughed at me and said, well, now we find the computers. We've done this hundreds of times. And I said, yeah, you're right. I'm back. And he's like, yeah, man, you just shot Bin Laden. I think your life has changed. But the stories that I have in this book, as opposed to other books, is I'm not telling anything classified. People really aren't interested in that. They don't want to know what type of paint was on the wall or the helicopters or whatever. They want to know, what did it smell like? What did your friend look like? What did he say when he was going up the stairs knowing we're going to get blown up? And these are the stories that are in there. And like I said, that's one of the great stories, but it's in one of the last chapters, because that was one of the last things I did.
Well, and not to cut into book sales here, but how many hostiles did you guys encounter when you first made your incursion into the compound?
Right off the bat, we encountered 3. 2 were shooting, and 1 was acting as a human shield. And that was before I got in front of the house. But by the time, because I wasn't in the helicopter that crashed, I was in the other one. And so by the time I made it in, they had already taken down two men and 1 woman. And then we encountered two more going up the stairs.
Do you fear for your life, though, after you shot the most wanted terrorist in the world? I mean, do you always do you have security around you?
I have security in place. There's not a fear or worry because that wouldn't help it. There's an awareness. It's better to be aware and be prepared as opposed to pretending it's not real. So I do know what's out there, and it's an unfortunate situation. It's unfortunate any of this has to happen, but yeah, I'm aware of it. There's stuff that I have security stuff in place.
And have there been material threats that have been that may not even be public knowledge necessarily, but that have been made on your life or these terrorist organizations that have your name on a list?
I've seen them talk. I've seen reports of them talking about me, and the FBI has been really good about it, and they told me about it, but not as much as you'd think, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing, because like I said, it's better to see and be aware of it than not know it's coming, because when we've seen with all these attacks around the world, when they act very, very quickly, and it's a dangerous place. But I mean, that's just a reminder for me that, yeah, I'm probably a target, but so is everybody else.
Walk us through a little bit, if you would, what you can, the prep work that goes into a raid like that. You talked about, whether not really being sure whether that compound was wired to blow, not being sure, but assuming, of course, the worst, that they'd have suicide vests on. The number of hostiles you expected to encounter, making sure it was bin Laden and not a body double, or that you were going to run into multiple body doubles like Hussein and others have used before as misdirection plays. Kind of, all of the research and the planning that goes into something as complicated and dangerous as you did.
Well, we were prepared for every mission. This came along with the years of combat that we'd had before, and the ability to see what the enemy is doing and think outside the box, adapt to their tactics, and change our tactics. One of the worst things that we said anyone can ever do is say this is the way we've always done it. So we're always changing, we're always staying fluid, and we never want to think we know what's going to happen in the target because we know it's not going to happen. So you want to have tactics that adapt to situations, but you don't want to think you know what's inside. So something like that, like when they told us it was bin Laden, we asked them, okay, are we going right now? And they told us we needed to train up for a few weeks to show the people making the decisions that you're going to go. But we were ready that day. And when you get into situations, just reading off what you see, what the angles are, and what your buddies are doing, you just respond. And it was something like a body double. Who knew? We didn't know what we were going to find inside there. But we weren't sure bin Laden was there because of what the woman told us. But if you run into a body double, it's as simple as however he is acting, you respond to that. If they are acting as a threat, then you escalate force, take it to the point of using lethal force if you need to. And something like that, where if someone moving at you is a suicide bomber, yes, you're probably going to take the shot. If they're armed, you're definitely going to take the shot. And you just go in there knowing that you need to take control of your field of fire, and the guy behind you will take care of your back.
Have you gotten reaction from your comrades in arms, other members of SEAL Team 6, to this book and to the statements you've made?
Yeah, I heard from 3 of them yesterday, and they're all positive.
Great. Well, he is Robert O'Neill. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the only negative stuff comes from people who don't know what happened. So I'm optimistic about that.
So this will fill in the blanks and separate fact from the SEAL Team 6 movie, maybe a little bit. Your book.
Well, this one's approved by the Pentagon, so I hope so.
There you go. All right, he is former SEAL Team 6 Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill. The book, The Operator: Firing the Shots That Killed Osama bin Laden and My Years as a SEAL Team Warrior. Robert O'Neill, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the book. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, thank you so much this morning. Have a great day.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Tax plan day in Washington. Boeing and PepsiCo report first quarter earnings today. Home prices on the rise again. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. President Trump unveiling his plan today for overhauling the tax system. Mr. Trump expected to propose a massive cut in the rate of corporate taxes, reducing the top rate from the 35% currently down to 15%. Critics say that would add to the national deficit but boost growth. And other quarterly financials, PepsiCo, Boeing, Twitter, all to update their first quarter results. Also today, the Mortgage Bankers Association reporting on mortgage applications. Nationwide, home prices rose steadily in February, more home buyers chasing fewer available properties. Standard & Poor's Home Price Index shows the cities with the biggest price gains include Seattle, Portland, and Dallas. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, trust is the single most important factor in hiring a contractor. And Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Barron, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy. Tuck-pointing brick roofing is Joe's specialty. Now, Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck-pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor. For brick, masonry, roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects to any other type of remodeling or construction, you will deal directly with owner Joe Barron. Trust me, I know because I've called Dependable Construction, and Joe Barron actually picks up the phone. So call Joe Barron at Dependable Construction, mention AM 560, and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091. Or visit tuckpointchicago.net. That's 773-244-1091 or tuckpointchicago.net.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
The good news? Our business is growing. The bad news? We have to hire again.
The searching.
Where do we look?
What if we hire the wrong person?
Actually, we could use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter?
ZipRecruiter makes hiring fast and easy. With one click, our job would be posted to 100 leading job sites. But are the candidates any good? You bet. As soon as we post our job, ZipRecruiter starts identifying the best matches and notifies them to apply, all within minutes. Well, all right.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates fast with ZipRecruiter. Find out why ZipRecruiter has been used by hundreds of thousands of businesses in a variety of industries nationwide. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. I hired a loan officer who worked for the lender who boasts about having low closing costs, and I now have indisputable proof my closing costs are over $1,000 less than my competitors. I am so confident my rates and closing costs are lower than any of the other advertisers on this radio station. I'll make a donation to the Illinois Education Patriots Fund if they aren't. When securing a mortgage, you could either work with lenders who constantly talk about low closing costs, or you could work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think about all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when my team originates your loan. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. For a mortgage, equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, 4358, NMLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, please, kind sir, won't you buy Amy's foursome?
Please. Yes, we're having our annual golf outing on Thursday, June 15th. Foursomes are going for $1,196. But with that, we will give you 25 60-second commercials. Of course, that's if you become a business benefactor, if you're a business owner, want to take your company to the next level, you're going to want to get on this because it's $3,000 worth of advertising for only $1,196.
Plus, Trump's cutting your taxes by like 1.5x. So, come on.
And the charity that we've partnered up with this year is the 100 Club of Chicago. And Dan, tell us what they do.
100 Club of Chicago, their mission is to provide for surviving spouses and dependents of first responders who lose their lives in line of duty in Cook and Lake counties here in Illinois. Includes all federal, state, county, and local officers, police officers, as well as firefighters and paramedics stationed and working out of those two counties. We talked to Joe Heron from 100 Club earlier in the show. $50,000 to the surviving spouse, the educational assistance for the children through college, more than $10 million raised and used to support those families over the last half century.
So if you want to join us on Thursday, June 15th to help those from the 100 Club of Chicago and get your company on AM 560, then call 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The Springfield March, that wasn't much of one at 7:07.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a man found guilty of murdering a Chicago police officer in 2010. That story coming up after Fox, WIND, Chicago News Time 7.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. The U.S. and South Korea playing war games, conducting military exercises while key parts of an American missile defense system are being installed to protect the South against North Korean missiles. And the looming missile and nuclear threat has set up quite the briefing later at the White House. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, lawmakers usually get classified briefings at the Capitol, but today the full Senate is invited to the White House for an update on North Korea's nuclear ambitions and to discuss how the U.S. should respond. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says President Trump
is not going to let this nut job in North Korea develop a missile with a nuclear weapon on top to hit America.
The briefing will be led by the Secretaries of State and Defense, the head of National Intelligence, and the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff. After meeting with the senators, the leaders will head to the Capitol to meet with House members. Dave.
Rachel, a skirmish at sea. The U.S. Navy says a destroyer fired a warning flare in the Persian Gulf at an Iranian boat that got within about a half mile of the American warship before later sailing away. The day after another of his executive orders was blocked in court, President Trump tweets, "See you in the Supreme Court," calling ridiculous a judge's ruling the president does not have the authority to issue that order that threatened to withhold federal funding from so-called sanctuary cities protecting illegal immigrants.
This is why we have courts, to halt the overreach of a president and attorney general who either don't understand the Constitution or choose to ignore it.
San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera, the president's tweets came after an angry White House statement.
Those city officials who authorized these policies have the blood of dead Americans on their hands. The San Francisco judge's erroneous ruling is a gift to the criminal gang and cartel element in our country.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez. The White House will unveil a tax reform plan today that'll include big rate cuts for corporations and small businesses. This is Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In Chicago, we have partly sunny skies, 62 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A search is underway to find a 1-year-old girl who disappeared in suburban Joliet. Will County sheriffs tell us Samaja Crosby was reported missing last night. Child last seen in the area of Luana Road and Richards. Former Chicago auto mechanic who was on the FBI's most wanted list is due in Cook County Court today. Fidel Urbina was arrested in 1998, charged with kidnapping, beating, and sexually assaulting a woman. After posting bail for that crime, authorities say he raped and killed Gabriela Torres. Urbina's been on the run for nearly 2 decades before being nabbed in Mexico. No one heard following a report of shots fired on the Eisenhower Expressway. Troopers receiving a call about a shooting early this morning on the I-290 near Keeler. Lanes were temporarily closed. DuPage County authorities say a man has confessed to attacking a woman this week on the Illinois Prairie Path in Wheaton. Matthew Grover was charged yesterday with aggravated battery. Sergeant Bob Harris says Matthew Grover also took responsibility for a similar attack last September.
It seems like Mr. Grover had some predatory tendencies. I'd go as far as to say a little bit cowardice. He's attacking victims when they're least expecting it.
Investigators say Grover took responsibility for that attack in September and believe he may be involved in other incidents as well. A new report says former Illinois Governor Pat Quinn parked a lot of political friends and clout at IDOT. Tribune first reported on a watchdog report. Court-appointed investigators said they found hundreds who were handed clout jobs at IDOT because of their connection, not their talent. Former suburban Chicago police detective has admitted to stealing drugs from his department's evidence room. Gregory Salvi faces at least 10 years in prison when he returns to court in July for sentencing. Chicago sports, Kyle Hendricks tossing 6 innings of 4-hit ball. Cubs 1-0 winners over the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Todd Frazier plates 3 more and scores 3. White Sox drill the reeling Royals 10-5. The news service of Ace, the helpful place with hardware folks. It's also the place with national brands like Scott's, Miracle-Gro, Ortho, and Roundup, and the local expertise you need to grow the lawn and garden you've always wanted. Stop by Ace today to stock up on everything you need for the season. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My water heater broke down.
Sorry, but your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover water heater breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my water heater?
I'm afraid not.
But his water heater could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus components of 20 other major home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. Home insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Life happens. Have a plan. Get a home warranty from American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-2127. That's 1-800-300-2127. 1-800-300-2127.
Writing job descriptions, sifting through resumes, setting up interviews. Hiring's hard, but Indeed.com makes it easier. Post your job, manage candidates, schedule interviews, all on Indeed. And since independent research shows that Indeed delivers 5 times more hires than any other job site, easy works. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave. But you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code 1137 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's harrys.com, code 1137.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Hyde Park, 53rd Street is closed between University and Kimbark. Near Woodlawn, there's a death investigation. Residents were evacuated from a building there. There was an odor reported. Inbound Eisenhower is just a mess. Delays starting at St. Charles, and the exit to the outbound Ryan still closed to clean up an early morning wreck. It is an hour and 40 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour 25 from Manheim outbound. Looking at 45 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, check that. The Edens, 27 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. Kennedy, an hour and 7 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes. 3:55 to the drive, outbound 39 minutes. The Ryan is 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed from Lee out of the Kennedy. The other tollways have fairly typical delays. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy and breezy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm for the afternoon, then periods of rain, some heavy with a thunderstorm tonight. Watch for flash flooding and damaging winds, high today 74 and a low tonight of 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 65 at O'Hare. It is 65 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the Judge Schmales foursome is taken, the Carl Spackler foursome is taken, the Danny Noonan foursome taken, the Tony D'Annunzio foursome taken, the Dan Proft foursome taken, Chuck Schick foursome still available, as is the foursome for our own Lacey Underall, Amy Jacobson.
I'm heartbroken. We got to make these phone lines ring. 312-363-6680. Of course, we're talking about our 8th annual golf outing. This year, again, it's at Bolingbrook Golf Club on Thursday, June 15th. Foursomes are for $1,196. Now, with that, we will give you, as a way of saying thank you, 25 60-second commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560. We could voice the commercials for you if you'd like, but really it's a way to take your business to the next level. If you're in marketing or if you're a manager or store owner and you thought, you know what, I want to advertise, this is the time to do it. This is the place to do it. Our ratings are high. We're doing very well. Dan is lovely to work with.
Yes.
And he's lovely to golf with because Team Dan's already been sold out, but Team Amy,
Correct.
Team Joe,
That's how it rolls.
we still need your help. 312-363-6680. Those who have golfed in it before, you're going to want to be a part of it because this year we're benefiting the 100 Club of Chicago.
Yeah, I sell out faster than Foo Fighters. Hey, here's the thing. This is how the day works, by the way, if you want to play golf. A little detail here. 2 shotgun starts, 7:30 shotgun start, and a 2:30 afternoon shotgun start, then, lunch in between. Silent auction, all kinds of good stuff. Luminaries milling about, not just me. Other luminaries will be there, too.
Mm-hmm. Sean from Elmwood Park.
Sure, of course. Yeah, of course he will. I don't know, maybe Prager will show up to bump some of my cigars, like he did with the cigar night we had.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. You just don't know with these things. So I'm gone. Andy Bizup from Midwest Performance Cars snatched me up. Yeah.
You're a hot piece of meat. He picked you up right away.
That's right. We played before with him. Great guy. Good player. His son, who is at Baylor now, he's a really good player. We weren't good enough to beat your foursome.
No, because we were minus, I think we were 52 under last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. So
we bought a lot of string, Dan, because it's a scramble format.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you own a business or you want to golf with us, get 4 people together, call this number, 312-363-6680. It's $1,196 for a foursome. But with that, you get an entire day of events and food, breakfast, lunch, and then also it's helping a really good cause, the 100 Club of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. So call now, 312-363-6680. Operators are standing by, as they say on those Time Life book commercials.
But they really are standing by. Actually, they're sitting by. They're in our conference room and waiting
don't
for
have
the
to stand.
phones
Yeah.
to ring. 312-363-6680. The golf tournament is always just a wonderful event. It's fun to be with like-minded people who have a passion for golf like Dan and I do.
We're also featuring at the luncheon McCain Foods golf ball hash browns. Did you see this story?
Yeah, I cannot believe how golf balls ended up in hash browns.
Yeah, there's a recall by McCain Foods, unrelated to John McCain.
Mhm.
Golf ball tainted potato products in the Roundy's brand and Harris Teeter brand frozen Southern style hash browns bagged on or after January 19th. I don't know what any of these things
Well,
are.
because you don't go grocery shopping, but you can.
I haven't been in a grocery
Roundy's
store since 1997. I think maybe 98. Yeah.
Yeah, but this the only thing I
yeah.
could think of. They said that it could be a choking hazard or create injuries to your mouth. The only thing I can think of is that the potato farm was right next to a driving range. That's really the only way that I could see how they were.
That could be.
That's the blonde's version of what happened there.
It's still a mystery. So you're right, and for you kids out home, at home, don't eat golf balls with your breakfast. Have a fruit. Have the fruit cup or whatever.
To become a business benefactor, 312-363-6680. We're partnering up with 100 Club of Chicago, and their mission is to help provide for the surviving spouses, for first responders, police officers, EMTs, anyone who lost their life in the line of duty. And we will be speaking with Joe Ahern, who's the president of the 100 Club of Chicago, on and off throughout this day. So you want to be a part of this. You want to help the 100 Club of Chicago. 312-363-6680. Again, our great sales staff is standing by to take your call. Even if you want to ask questions, just call 312-363-6680.
So this is a spat of protests around the country, including here P-Hat Posse descending on Springfield yesterday. I don't know.
Did you see the images? Because there wasn't. It was a big yawn of a protest.
150 of them. John Cullerton spoke.
Oh, my state senator.
That really whips the crowd into a frenzy. I mean, they're throwing their pea hats at John Cullerton like women throw underwear at Tom Jones down there in Springfield. So, yeah, that was a big nothing burger. Something burger that happened in Springfield yesterday, though, was Democrats. This was a party line vote. Democrats passed House Bill 40, 6255. A few Democrats crossed over to vote with Republicans against it. This is the public funding of abortion. So $12 billion in unpaid bills and the largest unfunded pension liability in the country and an unemployment rate that's functional unemployment rate that's higher than the national average, as well as a black unemployment rate that's the highest in the nation. All of the things that make Illinois the worst governed state in the nation, in the worst financial condition in the nation, featuring the highest combined state and local tax burden in the nation. And your Chicago Democrats, who enjoy a majority in the House and a supermajority in the Senate, are focused on providing, overturning essentially 30 years of the Hyde Amendment at the local level, as it is at the federal level, and provided public funding of abortion. You must be very proud to vote for Democrat state legislators in this state with that kind of focus, in addition to, the underlining moral case, but even just the financial one, which is the position that Governor Rauner has taken in making it clear that he is going to veto this bill, and they will not be able to override. If it does pass the Senate, which it probably will, given the supermajority of Democrats who are focused on this issue, to virtue signal and try and whip up the P-Hat Posse for the 2018 election, passed by the Senate, then gets to his desk, then vetoed, and then the matter dies. But Republicans made a strong stand and unified stand here on this, and there's the financial argument to make. The more important argument is the moral argument. Both were made, and so be critical of Bruce Rauner when he has not communicated clearly, when he has not taken strong positions, when he has not exercised executive leadership. This is not one of those cases. He has. And so people who think that these fights are over, they're not over. People are still putting in the fight. And so perhaps you should as well. And then just a related story in terms of protests. UC Berkeley is readying for riots, basically. When Ann Coulter appears not on campus yesterday because her appearance was canceled by the college, but in a public square in Berkeley tomorrow. And the expectation is there's going to be agitators from multiple sides that are going to be in conflict with one another.
So if you're Ann Coulter and your safety is on the line, are you going to show up and speak at that public square? I mean, do you think that's
exactly what she's going to do.
I mean, that's the smart thing to do? I mean, Ann Coulter, we've heard her speak several times.
She tweeted, she tweeted with respect.
I think she might get hurt or injured, excuse me.
She tweeted with an accompanying a picture of the forecast for Thursday.
Mhm.
Nice day for an outdoor speech at Berkeley. I think she's going.
Okay, yeah.
And, safety is always a concern. But I'll tell you what, these protesters, and this is the problem, David French points this out in National Review. The problem is you had this happen the last time at Berkeley. You have kind of alt-right types that took to the streets and,
anarchists, and most of them aren't even students there.
Well, right, but they're responding to the professional agitators of the left, the bedwetters on college campus. And you're going to have people get hurt. You're going to have people get hurt because when one side incites violence and you get a response from those not inclined to take it, regardless of what their underlying political positions are.
Well, she better have a strong security staff because unlike Milo, she's not going to have a building between her and the protesters.
Well, we'll see what they have set up for her. I don't know that that's clear. Certainly the local law enforcement is readying.
She needs a Pope mobile.
And I'll tell you what's going to start happening is you're going to have some vigilante justice meted out on these left-wing astroturfers as well as the adult children on college campuses, and you're going to have some adults make them stains in the road if you want to when these confrontations occur. You think that people are just going to forever stand by and let you run roughshod, not just on your campus, but in the community in which other people live? This is going to come to a reckoning of some sort. We've already seen some early indications of, the campus beat turning into a police blotter with respect to violence. Middlebury, Claremont McKenna, Berkeley. Just saying, when the left wants to walk away from what they gave birth to over the last 40 years on college campuses. But the problem is, again, when you erase the lines, it makes it very difficult to redraw them, particularly when you have no one in these institutions of higher learning, or very few people in these institutions of higher learning that are particularly interested in doing so.
Support the families of fallen first responders by purchasing a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
Coming up next, 100 Club of Chicago Day here at AM 560. But first, here's your forecast. Today, we're going to have some nasty storms, heavy thunderstorms that can bring flooding and damaging winds. By this afternoon, it's already hitting Peoria. A high today of 74. Tonight, rain and thunderstorms, a low of 49. And tomorrow, we're going to have a brief morning shower. Otherwise, that stuff will get out of here. And with it comes cooler temperatures, a high of 53 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Southside and Hyde Park, 53rd is closed between University and Kimbark. There's a death investigation after residents were evacuated from a building there. The inbound Eisenhower is just a mess. The ramp to the outbound Ryan is still closed to clean up an early morning truck crash. It is an hour and 42 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour 26 from Manheim. Outbound 45 minutes to Thorndale. Kennedy, no option. An hour and 37 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 49 minutes from Montrose. 48 in the Express. Outbound 41 to O'Hare. Edens, 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 29. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 39 minutes. The Ryan is 34 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, it's heavy, approaching Fullerton, then slow 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Oakwood, most of the way to Jackson. Eastbound Adams Tollway jammed, lead of the River Road toll. Veterans Memorial, very heavy this morning, but farther north with the delays from Butterfield to Lake. 8094 westbound, slow Broadway to Burr. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
There's so much to look forward to as the weather gets warmer. Outdoor sports and activities, backyard parties, and graduations. For your next celebration, party, or get-together, leave the eats to Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli. Whether it's around your table or theirs, Augie's is the place where sports teams, families, and friends celebrate with great food at a great price for almost 40 years. Try their signature subs, freshly made and fully loaded with the highest quality meats and cheese. Or choose from their fresh, never-frozen half-pound Angus beef burgers, authentic homemade Italian beef sandwiches, hand-rolled meatballs, pizza, and fresh salads. Dine in, surrounded by authentic rock and roll memorabilia, or phone ahead for orders to go. Whatever works for your team, Augie's offers fast, fresh, affordable food, designed to make your special time with friends and family simple and easy. Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli in Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Don't forget to check out their extensive catering menu at augustinos.com. This season, let the good times happen with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's early Sunday morning. The sun is coming up. I'm on the tee itself.
Dan and Amy, so Amy, I played on Sunday, and I asked my caddy.
Your caddy?
Yeah, I walk.
Oh.
That's how you play golf. Play golf with a caddy. I mean, I could carry my own bag, but I'm a big shot, so I need a caddy. So I asked him how he liked my game, and he said, "Oh no, I like it very much, sir, but I prefer golf."
Oh.
Where's the rim shot?
Hey!
You'll enjoy those comedic stylings for 18 holes when you play golf with me in our outing on June 15th at Bolingbrook Golf Club.
Yes, and we're signing people up right now for foursomes at $1,196. And what do you get for that? Well, first you get a full day of golf. There's a shotgun start at 7:30, one at 2:30, lunch between 12:30 and 2, and there's a silent auction. And just today, we have our special business benefactor program. So if you're a business owner, manager, maybe you make the marketing decisions for your company, you're going to want to be a part of this. Purchase a foursome, and as a way of saying thanks, we will give you 25 one-minute commercials to promote your business right here on AM 560, The Answer. Do that by calling this number, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. And this year we've partnered up with the 100 Club of Chicago.
And from the 100 Club of Chicago, joining us in studio is Joe Ahern. Joe, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Dan.
We always like to partner with a worthy charity, and the 100 Club of Chicago certainly qualifies. Tell us about the work that your organization does.
Yeah, Dan, there's about 45,000 first responders that are here in Cook and Lake County that protect all of us, our businesses, our families. And when one dies in the line of duty, the 100 Club is there to provide for the family. We give the widow $50,000 immediately, and then we send all the kids to college. And we have given away over $10 million. And it's events like this and the golf outing that you're having on June 15th that allows us to continue to do the great work that we're doing. And if someone would call in the next 10 minutes, we're going to give them a membership, a 100 Club membership, to for the next year. So and they get to play with Amy and Dan, and we'll be out there, and we'd love to have you call and join up with us.
And the number 312-363-6680, 312-363-6680.
Well, and this is so important because unfortunately there, as Heather McDonald's book, The War on Cops, cops in particular, first responders in general, being targeted by people who unfortunately, through some kind of misplaced sense of political protest, are engaging in violence as the way of protest and targeting their anger at police officers doing their jobs. We've seen that throughout the country, including in Chicago.
Yeah, sadly, we've seen so many deaths in the line of duty. This summer, Dan, we have the 100 Club Family Day. It'll be our 5th year, and we invite all the families that have lost their loved one over the last 50 years. And they show up at the Brookfield Zoo. We have a big picnic, and it starts out with an honor guard cordon where we had about 500 people show up last year to march through every municipality in Chicago, Cook, and Lake County that has lost a police officer or a firefighter. And the families march through there. It is really a very emotional start to a wonderful day. But after our picnic, I had a fellow come up to me with his wife in one hand, his daughter in another, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, you know, Mr. Ahern, he says, my dad died in 1967. He says, and my mom still can't talk about it. He says, and I'm so glad to be here and to experience this day with these other families. And he gave us a check for a family membership. And he said, my daughter said, oh, Dad, we're going to the Brookfield Zoo. What a great day, a free day at the zoo. And he looked at her and he said, honey, it's not a free day. Your grandfather paid a huge price for us to be here. And that's what people are signing up for when they come out and golf at Bolingbrook on June 15th, to be there and be with, support these families.
So it's a fun way to make an important statement and show of support for police officers and first responders. 312-363-6680 is the number.
And we're hoping to raise $20,000 to $30,000, maybe even more on that day for our golf outing. And when we're talking about the numbers, I mean, the number of police officers killed in the line of duty just last year rose 67%. So our first responders are at greater risk now, obviously. And what have you heard from them?
Yeah, it's so dangerous out there. I mean, they put their lives on the line every day, and sadly, some days they don't come back. Just in the last 18 months, we've had 4 fatalities, and 3 of them were firefighters. And between the 4 families, there was 18 children.
Wow.
And so we have 67 sons and daughters of police officers and firefighters that died in the line of duty that will be coming up and going to college in the future. And by being a part of this golf outing, will allow us to provide college education for those kids.
So if you're a business owner or operator, make the purchasing decision of the business, this is something that you want to be a part of, obviously, 100 Club of Chicago, and participate in the golf outing. Again, foursomes are $1,196 for full day of golf, plus lunch, plus Amy's company, which is priceless.
Oh, yeah.
And the number 312-363-6680, if you're a business owner, you know, you're going to get your taxes cut by Trump. If you're a operator of a lumber company in the country, I mean, you just got, I mean, come on. You just whacked Canadian lumber with the 20% tariff. You got some extra cash. Give us a call, 312-363-6680.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
There's no feeling like grabbing a seat in a comfy chair to look through memories in a photo album. It's so much more enjoyable than looking at a computer or the small screen of a smartphone. An album of photos will last a lifetime. They can't be erased or become victim of a crashed hard drive. Print your photo memories at oneclickpics.com, your online photo center. Whether they're for an album, a gift, or framed for display, you want the very best quality. You can get that from the photo experts at oneclickpics.com. OneClickPics.com is a professional photo printer. You'll be amazed at the quality of your pictures, canvas prints, invitations, or announcements. You'll see details in your photos you've never seen before. And right now, when you buy 25 printed photo cards, you get 15 free. Use promo code 15FREE at checkout. Trust your digital picture memories to the photo technicians trained in every aspect of digital photo production. OneClickPics.com. OneClickPix.com.
Stop the runaround. Continental Audi of Naperville puts you in the driver's seat with straight talk and no hassle. Plus, we offer maintenance, valet service, and VIP loyalty rewards after the sale. It's the Continental difference. Right now, lease a new Audi A4 Quattro Premium Sedan for $419 a month, or lease the incredible Audi A6 for $499 a month. Continental Audi of Naperville has a large selection, including more than 300 new and pre-driven vehicles ready to drive. Plus, Qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on certified Audis. Drive an Audi and feel the difference in your driving enjoyment. Drive an Audi from Continental, and you'll know the difference an exceptional dealership can make. Experience the Continental Audi difference, ContinentalAudi.com.
36 monthly, $35.44 due at Sunday. Includes first month payment, no security tax, extra. Leasing responsible for 25 cents over 30,000 miles and excessive wear and tear. Subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to Steve Moore about the possibility of Obamacare Replace 2.0 moving through the House soon, the unveiling of Trump's tax plan, the tariffs on Canadian lumber. Talk about it all at 7:37.
but first let's go into this newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 62 degrees. Search underway right now to find a 1-year-old girl missing in Joliet. Will County Sheriff's tell us Samaja Crosby was reported missing last night. Child last seen in the area of Luana Road and Richards Street. Former Chicago auto mechanic who was on the FBI's most wanted list is due in a Cook County courtroom today. Fidel Urbina was arrested in 1998 for the beating and sexual assault of a woman. After posting bail for that crime, authorities allege he raped and killed another woman, Gabriela Torres. Urbina has been on the run for 2 decades and has been nabbed recently in Mexico. The wide-ranging tax cut plan that campaigning presidential candidate Donald Trump promised repeatedly to voters is coming into shape. But the president's ambitious program of steep rate cuts may be on a collision course with worsening national debt. North Korea will no longer host this year's Judo World Championships because of security risks amid rising tensions with the South and the United States. Leading House conservatives in Washington are saying good things about a plan to revive the GOP health insurance reform bill. But one influential GOP House moderate is beginning his opposition to that proposal. A Lansing man is accused of shooting a truck driver to death last week on I-88 in Oak Brook. Anthony Tillman was charged yesterday with the murder of Eduardo Munoz. And about half of Illinois' school superintendents this morning are demanding a state budget by the end of May. The group, 388 of them, yesterday saying schools in the state cannot survive another year without all of their state aid. Cubs over the Pirates in Pittsburgh 1-0. Sox drill the reeling Royals 10-5 in Chicago, and the news is a service of Jewel Osco. Shop Jewel Osco's 4-day sale and save on 6-ounce blueberries. 2 packages are $3. Get USDA choice beef chuck roast or value pack steaks for $2.49 a pound. And selected Yoplait yogurt cups are only 35 cents each, limit 12. 7:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Start your day on the right track and take Metra. Metra's 95% on-time dependability helps you get where you're going on time, no matter what's happening on the roads. Visit metrorail.com.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Some exciting news about Woodfield Nissan. Now, if you waited to buy your next car, there may never be a better opportunity to buy because Woodfield Nissan is drastically reducing the prices on all their new and used cars to make room for incoming inventory. Now, this is your chance to save between $4,000 to $14,000 off MSRP on brand new Nissans, and every new Nissan is on sale. No models will be held back. There's sure to be a car or a truck for you, so don't waste your time shopping around. Just go to Woodfield Nissan in Hoffman Estates. Choose from a huge collection of 2017 Nissan Altimas, Sentras, Rogues, and much more. Now available with 0% APR financing for 72 months. So what are you waiting for? The only place in the Midwest that I recommend you buy your new Nissan, Woodfield Nissan, just 2 miles west of the Woodfield Shopping Mall at Golf and Higgins, or just go to woodfieldnissan.com.
Prices are plus tax, title, license, and dock fee, and savings off MSRP. 0% to qualified buyers is $13.89 per $1,000 financed on select models. 2 or more available at this offer.
7:37. Let's check our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Like the inbound Kennedy's jammed all the way in. It is an hour and 48 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 41 minutes. Edens 29 minutes. Lake Hook to the Kennedy, outbound 27. There's the Eisenhower, an hour and 51 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and a half from Manheim. The ramp to the outbound ride has reopened. Outbound 54 minutes downtown to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 34 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, stop and go Washington to Eau Plaine. Northbound Harlem to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Veterans Memorial slow Boughton most of the way to Lake Street. Traffic is a service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil, service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, showers, heavy thunderstorms, high 74 today. Cooler with rain or a thunderstorm overnight, low 49. Currently 66. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Dan and Amy, so playing golf at Olympia Fields on Sunday with some other captains of industry like myself. It's my private club. You're not allowed.
Oh, that is so rude.
It's private.
Well, speaking of golf, because today is our big golf day. It's the 100.
Can I tell my story?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
trying to tell the caddy story here.
Oh, you know what, Dan? Take the floor.
Thank you very much. So I'm playing about 195 out. I'm into a bit of a wind.
Let me guess, you use your 6-iron.
Like a 5-knot wind. So I said to my caddy, "Do you think I can get there with a 6-iron?" And he said, "Eventually."
Oh.
Thank you very much. I will continue to tell these bad golf jokes until and unless you call in at 312-363-6680 to purchase a foursome, and particularly the $2,000 foursome to play with Amy. She's on the verge of tears.
Yes, I am. And I just got a text message from Sean Morrison. He said, "I'm trying to book the golf package with you. No one's answering at 312-363-6680.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is just coming over the wire. Amy's foursome is sold.
Oh, somebody, yes. Who am I golfing with? We don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
I bought it out of sympathy. It's a sympathy foursome purchase.
Sympathy for,
yeah, we'll
right.
get the details on who's playing with Amy. It won't be as cool as playing with Andy Bizub and the Midwest Performance Car guys like I am, but
that's all right.
I know since you cheat, you'll win the scramble anyway, so what does it really matter?
Well, 52 under is not really a big accomplishment if you think about it. But we've partnered up with 100 Club of Chicago. So, again, if you want to golf in our annual golf outing, call 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680.
All right, now we need to turn to some economic matters because there is a lot happening on that front that impacts your take-home pay and our economy's growth. And to help us do that, we're pleased to be joined by our friend and CNN chief economist, Steve Moore. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys. Good morning. So all I have to do is pay $3,000 and I get to play golf with you?
Well, it's $2,000, but I mean, if you want to throw in an extra dime, I mean, a guy like you.
Baby.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Do you play golf?
Not very well, but because I travel all over the place, I get to play some of the great courses. But I've always wanted to play with you, Dan, and it's worth $2,000. I'm gonna call me in
Next time you're in
Who
town.
else is in our foursome?
The Midwest Performance Car guys, Andy Bizov, his son, who's a really good player. So and next time you're in town too, I'll take you out to Olympia.
Oh yeah,
We'll play. I'll show you off.
Maybe can I
my
be his
arm
caddy?
candy.
Yeah.
The PGA plays there, don't they?
The women's PGA is there this year.
It's the only PGA, really.
Yes, I'm trying to qualify for the women's PGA actually. All right, so let's talk
Big day today. Big day today.
Yeah, you had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal about how we grow our economy out of we grow our economy to address the left's charge that Trump's proposed tax restructuring, tax relief plan will not be revenue neutral, will increase deficits and the debt, and you've got a counter for that. What is it?
Yeah, which is that if you look at these, forecasts about how much the debt is expected to go up, and they're very scary forecasts. That the debt is going to be, we're going to be like Greece in the next 15 years if we don't turn this debt around. But it turns out that what's really driving the debt more than anything is this really slow growth that we've been in for the last 10, 12 years, where the economy's been growing less than 2%. By the way, the average for the U.S. economy over the last 50 years has been closer to 3 to 3.5%. So all I did, people should look at my article in the Wall Street Journal today. There's a nice graph that shows if we were to increase our growth rate from this measly 1.8% to just 3%, which would be pretty average for the history, we would not see the debt explode to 150% of GDP. It would go down to about 50% of GDP, which is much more manageable. So you got to grow the economy, which brings me to the tax cut that will be released in about 2 hours. As you guys know, I worked on this on the campaign, and it looks like what they're going to announce today is not too dissimilar from what we talked about 6 months ago on the show. Cut the business tax rates, simplify the tax system, let companies bring the $2 trillion they have abroad, let them bring that back to the United States at a low flat rate. You do that, you're going to get higher growth. And I was on CNN this morning arguing with one of the Obama economists saying, oh, my God, you're going to drive the debt through the roof. And I'm like, you people doubled the national debt in 8 years, and you're going to sermon me about, the evils of deficit spending. So, but it's going to be a big day. Big
All right.
day.
So what's in it for the middle class?
Well, people like you and me,
a
right?
real simple question.
That is true. What is in it for us? Well, first of all, one of the provisions of the plan is to increase the standard deduction. So the vast majority of Americans will no longer have to itemize their deductions. Dan, all those shoe boxes or receipts you have in your closet,
right.
You're not going to need those anymore because you're just going to mark the box for a standard deduction. The average family is going to save about $1,500 on taxes, but that's not the main thing, though. The main benefit to the middle class is this business tax cut, because when businesses have more money, they can. By the way, I was down at this big business conference this weekend, and I asked a lot of this small businessmen, look, if you have an extra $50,000, $75,000 left over after you pay all your bills, what are you going to do with that money? And they're going to plow that money back into the business. They're going to grow their businesses, hire more workers. That's what's good for the middle class, is create more jobs.
And during Reagan's 7 fat years, we had 6% growth. I mean, this is massive tax cuts that took the top margin rate down from 70% to 28%. This is a substantial cut in the corporate rate, particularly for owner-operated companies, down from nearly 40% to 15%. And with Reagan, again, all of the doom and gloom from the left, even though some were on board with portions of it, but ultimately revenues, because of the explosive growth, 18.2% of GDP, which was right at the 40-year average. So it was a spend problem, not a revenue problem in the 80s. Do you suspect that we're going to be in the same situation here in terms of the revenue generation, even just from this part of what's going to be proposed?
Well, very good, Dan. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You got it right. What do you need me for? But you're exactly right. In fact, if you look at for people who are skeptical, by the way, just go to there's something called the historical tables of the budget, because people don't believe this when we say it. The revenues went up in the 80s when Reagan cut taxes. So look at something called the historical tables, and look at column 1 and table 1.1, and you'll find that the tax revenues to the federal government increased. These revenues increased from $500 billion to $1 trillion in 8 years. So Reagan actually increased the revenues when the rates were lower because more people were working. Businesses were more profitable. People made more money. That's the way you reduce the deficit. I mean, there's a great book out by my friend Larry Kudlow called JFK and the Reagan Revolution. I want everybody to write that down, JFK and the Reagan Revolution. And he talks about all of this, about how the big two supply-side tax cutters the last 50 years were Kennedy and Reagan, and those were the two of the most prosperous periods for the U.S. economy.
And so is your border adjustment tax, is that going to be included in what's proposed today?
I think that's out. There is, it's not in the plan that Trump is going to announce today. Now, that's not to say at the end of the day there might be some small border adjustment tax, but nothing like what's in the Paul Ryan plan, which would be a 15 or 20% border tax. And I'll tell you why. You know what company in America hates the border tax more than any other?
Walmart,
right? And they got 2 Republican senators from Arkansas. I don't think we're going to get their vote with the border adjustable tax. So I think that tax is out.
Just a couple rapid fire capital gains tax cut. Where's that stand? That's
going to be down from right now. It's Obama raised it from 15 to 24%. Under the Trump plan, it goes from 20 to 4 back down to 20.
And what about mortgage and charitable deductions?
Good question. That one is yet to be resolved. Now, if I had it my way, I would get rid of those, but I do not believe this plan. I have not seen all the final details, but I do not believe the mortgage and charitable deduction are eliminated. I think they're retained. By the way, we don't need that. We don't need them. If you get the rate down, if you get to cut the rate down enough, what do you need all these deductions for?
And real quickly, what about this new tax on soft lumber from our friends in Canada?
Oh God!
Allies turned enemy.
What's bad? Terrible. I mean, Donald, what are you thinking? I mean, I'm a free trade guy, and what? Are we worried about Canadian lumber? Really? Is that going to terrorize our country? I mean, come on, that's silly. It's going to make housing more expensive. It's make building more expensive, and we all know tariffs are just taxes on the American people, and it's a bad idea. I don't know where it came from, but really, we're worried about Canada now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Strange brew from the White House. All right, he is Steve Moore. He is the chief economist for CNN. He is a Wall Street Journal.
What time are we teeing off?
Wall Street Journal. We got a 2:00 shotgun on June 15th. So mark it down and check out Steve's piece in the Wall Street Journal. Growth can solve the debt dilemma. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
What do I have to pay to play with Amy?
$2,000.
Okay, you got it. See you guys. Have a great week.
It's a bargain at twice the price.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Okay, up next, how you can be part of the fun on our annual AM 560 The Answer golf outing, which takes place Thursday, June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. But first, here's your forecast. Some showers and heavy thunderstorms. It's going through right now the fine city of Peoria, and will be here in a few hours. And with it can bring some flooding and damaging winds, a high of 74 degrees. Then tonight, some rain and thunderstorms, and then tomorrow a morning shower, otherwise cloudy and a lot cooler around here, a high only in the low 50s. Let's get the travel times. Are they low? Are they high? Here's Jim Telemonte in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Amy, they're higher than high. On the inbound Kennedy, it is an hour and 48 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 58 minutes from Montrose, 52 in the Express. Outbound 49 to the airport. The Eisenhower's worse, an hour and 51 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. The exit to the outbound has finally reopened at the outbound Ryan after an early morning wreck. It's an hour and a half from Mannheim to downtown. Outbound 54 minutes to Thorndale.
Eden's 30 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose outbound 27. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan, 40 minutes now, 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, delays are from before Irving Park to North Avenue, and then 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound Oakwood most of the way to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State, heavy Washington to Eau Plaine. Northbound Harlem to 31st, and from the Reagan to the way to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial jammed, Fountain most of the way to Lake Street. Eastbound 8094 and westbound 94 ramps to the Indiana Toll Road are now closed until May 25th. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm almost 87 years old, and I have had irritable bowel syndrome. I really feel better at my age. I'm telling you, I was weak and weary and just afraid to go any place because of this irritable bowel thing, and now I'm doing better. My doctor's already taken me off I think that's the name of it, for your cholesterol. I did a test, and he said, you don't have extra cholesterol, and he took it away from me. Isn't that wonderful? I'm amazed. I really, truly am. I thought these old people on there giving these commercials were full of stuff, and they surely didn't mean it. And they do mean it.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Culture is everything. When a nation replaces individual rights and the rule of law with silly-hearted, value-free multiculturalism, freedom dies. Last week's terrorist attack in Paris is another awful reminder of how this plays out in practice. Trying to cure a sick culture is like being in the throes of Italian fever. By the time the symptoms show, you're a goner. So how do we give American culture a checkup as to our present ability to be both a free society and the greatest melting pot in human history? Last week's referendum in Turkey that codified Erdogan's authoritarian rule into law was a useful stress test. 97% of Turks are Muslim. Turks living in Germany and the Netherlands, 2 countries that pride themselves on migrant friendliness, voted 63% and 70% respectively in favor of the referendum, despite opposition from officer-friendlies Merkel and Rutte. By contrast, Turks in the United States, which isn't perceived to be nearly so migrant-friendly, particularly of late, voted 83% against the referendum. The lesson for healthy living? Acting like a doormat to dogmatic Islamists makes them more so, not less so. The prognosis for American culture on this score? A long life ahead.
Beware, the federal government can change the rules for your retirement plan at any time. Before the government finds another way to separate you from your money, arm yourself with the Ultimate Retirement Protection Plan. The plan starts with 4 special reports: the new rules of retirement, your 20-minute estate plan, hidden real estate tax bombs to avoid, and 5 easy chair portfolios. The Ultimate Retirement Protection Plan was created by Bob Carlson, America's #1 expert on retirement planning. You'll also get a risk-free membership in our private research letter, Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. It includes a monthly newsletter, weekly hotlines, and more when you order at retirementwatchradio.com. 1 year is just $49. Try it for 90 days. If it doesn't exceed your expectations, you'll get a complete refund. Call 800-552-1152. That's 800-552-1152. Or log on to retirementwatchradio.com. That's retirementwatchradio.com.
Comcast Business presents the GOA Regional Business Association's 2017 Business Expo, face-to-face, Thursday, May 4th from 2 to 6 p.m. This event is free to the public and will be held at Avalon Banquets at 1905 East Higgins Road in Elk Grove Village. Attend and learn about products and services from over 100 local business vendors. Sample delicious local food and drinks. Enjoy raffles and great giveaways from the exhibitors. Last year, the GOA Regional Business Association's Business Expo had over 1,000 attendees. Admission to attend this event is free. All you need is your business card. Don't miss the GOA Regional Business Association's 2017 Business Expo, Thursday, May 4th, and network with over 100 companies at the only business expo in the region. For more info, call 630-773-2944. That's 630-773-2944. Or visit them online at thegoa.com. When you're looking to grow your business, think GOA.
My daughter started school, and I find myself worrying if she is getting home safe while I'm still at work. I wish I could check up on her.
Alarm Detection Systems offers remote control of your security system from your phone. Get text or video alerts when someone's at your door. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Our neighbor had thousands of dollars in flood damage and lost several items that are irreplaceable. Is there a security solution to receive early warning of an event like this?
Of course. Alarm Detection Systems has flood detection systems alerting you when water gathers in your home, giving you time to react. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, then listen to Mark.
I had fantastic results with the Andro 400 Max. Probably lost 35 pounds, and more impressive than that was the inches I lost off of my belly and my waist. And the increased energy is fantastic. I'll be totally honest, I tried a different product, and I wasn't happy with the different product. You guys are considerably cheaper than the other brand, and I can really feel the difference.
Andro 400 Max, the extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe, easy, and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Feel and look like a new man. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy. Amy, I was playing golf at my private club over the weekend. And
what happened, Dan? Get the rim shot sound ready.
And I said to my caddy, hey, please stop looking at your watch all the time. It's a bit of a distraction. And he said, sir, that's not a watch, it's a compass. Thank you very much. Those terrible golf jokes seem to be working because we sold your foursome to Morrison Security, which has already been named the winner of the scramble at the June 15th golf outing because they came in at 52 under.
Well, we always have a competition every year whose foursome is going to do better, and I'm always the prevailer. I always win. And yes, one year we were 42 under.
The Kim Jong-il foursome.
Yeah, so no, thank you, Morrison Security, for picking up Team Amy. We appreciate it. So today is 100 Club of Chicago Day, and what that is we're signing up people for our annual golf outing that will take place Thursday, June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Foursomes are $1,196. Don't know how they came up with that number, but that's the number. And with that, you'll get a full day of golf. There's a 7:30 morning shotgun start and a 2:30 afternoon shotgun start. We'll have lunch, silent auction. And today we have our special business benefactor program, Dan.
Well, that's right. We do 25 60-second commercials to promote your business on these airwaves. They'll run between 5 a.m. 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday on AM 560 The Answer. That's a $3,000 is $3,000 worth of advertising that you get for your purchase of a foursome for $1,196. So give a call, 312-363-6680. And we want to thank Precision Payroll of America, Topper Plumbing, Chicago Fiberglass Works, Midwest Performance Cars, Integrity Partnership, Morrison Security, and many others who've already signed up.
Spots are filling up quickly, 312-363-6680. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to a reporter from the Daily Signal about the protest of the Heritage Foundation in D.C. yesterday.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, authorities say a man confessed to a path attack in Wheaton. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It's a ridiculous ruling. That's what President Trump tweets after another judge blocked another of his executive orders. This one threatened to withhold federal funding from so-called sanctuary cities, not cooperating with federal immigration authorities. San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera sued, calling it unconstitutional.
As Americans, we all have a duty to confront injustice, even when it emanates from the White House.
Now live to Washington, where Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more of the White House reaction.
Dave, the president is vowing to take the case to the U.S. Supreme Court as he slams the Ninth Circuit, tweeting it has a terrible record of being overturned, adding they used to call this judge shopping. Messy. In a statement, Press Secretary Sean Spicer said a single judge has ignored federal immigration law to set a new immigration policy for the entire country. He also said cities that refuse to enforce federal immigration law are engaged in the dangerous and unlawful nullification of federal law in an attempt to erase our borders. Dave.
Rachel, the White House will offer a tax proposal today.
It's expected to tout a corporate rate of 15%, down from the current 35%. It's also expected to include infrastructure spending and a child care tax credit, moves the White House hopes will bring Democrats to the negotiating table.
Fox's John Decker at the White House, where the full Senate will go today to get a briefing on the North Korean nuclear threats.
I really am impressed with his commander-in-chief skills here.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who had dinner Monday night with President Trump and fellow Senator John McCain. The full House will also get a briefing later on North Korea at the Capitol. In Afghanistan, our enemies are fighting each other. ISIS militants attacked the Taliban, seizing 2 districts in a battle that killed 76 Taliban fighters and 15 from the Islamic State group, as the two both worked toward trying to overthrow the Afghanistan government, which is backed by thousands of U.S. troops still there. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Skies are mostly cloudy, 66 degrees. Winds are out of the south at 11 this morning. 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. The search is underway to find a 1-year-old girl who disappeared in Joliet. Will County Sheriff's Office telling us that Samaja Crosby was reported missing late last night. The child last seen in the area of Luana Road and Richards, wearing a gray long-sleeve shirt and dark blue jeans and no shoes. A former Chicago auto mechanic who was on the FBI's most wanted list is due in a Cook County courtroom today. Fidel Urbina was arrested in 1998, then charged with kidnapping, beating, and sexually assaulting a woman in Chicago. After posting bail for that crime, authorities say he raped and killed another woman. Urbina had been on the run for nearly 2 decades before being nabbed in Mexico. DuPage County authorities say a man has confessed to attacking a woman this week on the Illinois Prairie Path in Wheaton. Matthew Grover was charged yesterday with aggravated battery and unlawful restraint. Sergeant Bob Harris says Grover took responsibility for a similar attack last September.
It seems like Mr. Grover has some predatory tendencies. I'd go as far as to say a little bit cowardice. He's attacking victims when they're least expecting it.
Investigators also believe he was involved in several other similar incidents. A Lansing man is accused of shooting a truck driver to death last week on I-88 near Oak Brook. Anthony Tillman was charged yesterday with the murder of Eduardo Munoz. Tillman is due in DuPage County Court later today. Cubs winners over the Pirates 1-0. Sox drilled Danny Duffy and the Reeling Royals 10-5. The news, a service of Accountemps. Every accounting team faces cyclical, project, and seasonal peak workloads. Let Accountemps help. Their highly skilled accounting and finance pros can quickly assist with all of your temporary staffing needs. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Twitter is reporting a better-than-expected start to the year. Though it lost $62 million, that compares to losing $80 million in the first quarter a year ago. Customers returned to Chipotle Mexican Grill at the start of the year. Its quarter was better than expected. It's back to making money. But now Chipotle is investigating a security issue. It detected unauthorized activity on the payment network in restaurants. It believes it has stopped the activity. Uber has selected Dallas and Dubai to debut flying taxis starting in the year 2020. Taxis will be small electric aircraft that take off and land vertically with zero emissions. The Dow closed up 232 points yesterday. The Nasdaq added 41 in record territory, closing at 6,025, and the S&P gained 14. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
By now, you've had your chance to watch the mainstream media do everything they can to destroy President Donald Trump. Any pretense of being fair and impartial is now history. While all these years they were playing a game trying to disguise their true intentions, now it's simply Katie bar the door. Certain networks seem to have abandoned whatever journalistic credibility they once held dear. So what to do? Where do you turn? How can you know what's really going on? Just keep it right here. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Over 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring, and independent research shows that 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. By creating the easiest, most effective hiring experience, we help businesses find great new people every day. Right now, we're giving new users a $50 credit to post a sponsored job on the world's #1 job site. Claim your $50 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave. But you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code 1137 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's harrys.com. Code 1137.
8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is jammed from Cumberland to the Burn Circle. It is an hour and 43 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 54 minutes from Montrose, 50 in the Express. Outbound 51 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 31. The Eisenhower, an hour and 40 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, an hour and 19 from Manheim. Outbound an hour and 2 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan is 40 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, 39 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound delays are from Oakwood most of the way to Jackson. Tri-State southbound slow Washington to Eau Plaine. Northbound Harlem to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The Adams Tollway is good. Reagan Tollway slow Farnsworth to Eola and Mill to 355. Veterans Memorial from Boughton most of the way up to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and breezy. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm for the afternoon. Storms can bring flash flooding and damaging winds. High 74. Rain continues tonight. Low 49. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Clouds and 65 at O'Hare. It is 65 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we've talked about the protests that are expected tomorrow in Berkeley when Ann Coulter speaks from the public square. We talked about the P-Hat Posse in Springfield, the big protest march that went off like a pop gun. I mean, nobody showed up.
Looking at photographs, it didn't look like there were 100 people. It looked like there were 12 people there, maybe 13, a baker's dozen at the most.
Well, there were 100 people who stormed the lobby of the Heritage Foundation in D.C. yesterday, a organization called the People's Lobby, which, of course, is Chicago-based. Of course it is. The epicenter of professional agitation and community organizing here, the Windy City. And Chicago-based, so I don't know if convicted felon Creamy Bob and his wife, Calamity Janchikowski, were behind this or not. I don't know if they have alibis. But I'm just going to go ahead and assume they were because he's a convicted felon and she's a communist. So
okay.
That's good enough for me. For more on this little contretemps in D.C., we're pleased to be joined by Melissa Quinn, who is a reporter for the Daily Signal. Melissa, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So these protesters came to the Heritage Foundation because they had carefully reviewed the fiscal year 2017-2018 budget plan that the Heritage Foundation put together, and they had some disagreements about entitlement reform. Is that what we're led to believe?
I'm actually not quite sure. So the Daily Signal is affiliated with the Heritage Foundation, so naturally this is the office that we work out of. And yeah, you're correct, about 200 protesters came into the lobby and staged about a demonstration that lasted about an hour. Now, the one thing that we do know is that they were protesting, like you mentioned, Heritage's budget blueprint, which is called Blueprint for Balance. They put one out in 2016 and 2017. And this is the document that President Trump adopted parts of these recommendations from in his own budget for 2018. Now, the reason why I say I don't actually know which parts of the budget they were opposed to is because these protests and activists absolutely refused to speak to me as a reporter and our video team and answer questions about why they were protesting, which programs, which recommendations, which parts of the budget they disagreed with, which changes they would like to see made. We approached several people, probably half a dozen different protesters, and every single one of them said that they were not authorized to speak to the media, and any attempt to find and track someone down who was authorized to speak to the media, unfortunately, was to no avail.
That makes me think that they're paid protesters.
You don't think it's
I
spontaneous?
mean, really. I mean, you see signs like a budget for immigrants. I'm looking at some of the video here that was taken, and not one of them would give you answer any of your questions?
Right. I mean, they kept on chanting about things that water, not walls, which was, I believe, a vague reference to the Dakota Access Pipeline, and some of the signs hit on immigration, healthy communities, which I would assume is a knock on Heritage's stance on the Affordable Care Act. But it was very difficult. Yeah, you would think that when you have a group of 200 people who come into the lobby of a think tank and want to protest that think tank's stance and one of their, big budget documents, they would be able to pinpoint exactly which aspects they disagreed with. But as far as we could tell, no one could answer that question for us.
Well, as I saw some of the tweeting from the People's Lobby, and of course, it all boils down to the fact that they're pro-human and you're pro-corporate, whatever that means.
I think it's interesting, too. I mean, Heritage is very transparent in terms of the information put out there, and I believe it's less than 3%. I may not have that exactly right, but it's a very, very small percentage of Heritage's donors actually come from corporations or different businesses. It's very much donations from individuals. But again, had that been something that these protesters would have said and wanted to discuss, we would have been more than happy. I would have been more than happy to interview them about their concerns about the organization, but it just didn't come to fruition.
Now, just to clarify, those individual donations, those are from individual humans?
Humans, yes.
Humans,
correct.
okay. I just wanted to clarify so I could respond to the People's Lobby when they come to our lobby. By the way, not that they believe in such things, but is the Heritage Foundation, that is on private property, isn't it? So they don't really have a right to be there.
Yes, correct.
So was security called, and did any of you fear for your safety at any time?
We have an awesome security team at Heritage. They were very visible and present and active in monitoring the situation. The organization, which as best as we could tell, this was organized through a group called People's Action, which, like you mentioned earlier, is Chicago-based and is affiliated with a larger group called National People's Action. They also had people who were designated as police liaisons to work with Capitol Police, who ended up showing up, I believe, just for crowd control, making sure that everything was somewhat peaceful. There were no disruptions. The interesting thing, though, that I think is fascinating is National People's Action, which, like I mentioned, is based in Chicago, actually protested in Chicago at the Bank of America building last month, came out and protested once again against Heritage's Blueprint for Balance, President Trump's budget, and also protested a member of Heritage's Board of Trustees, Anthony Saliba. And that took place just last month and was put on by another affiliate of National People's Action. So this certainly is not the first time that this organization has been involved and helped orchestrate protests against Heritage and President Trump's budget.
Yeah, the protest in Chicago, that's where they busted out the Bank of America window.
Yes, and I believe several people were arrested as well.
Yeah. Now, did you see a communist member of Congress, her convicted felon husband, were they milling about anywhere? You may not have immediately recognized them because they like to wear Karl Marx glasses. Some people wear Groucho Marx glasses. For these two, it's Karl Marx glasses. Did you see any members of Congress or former inmates that are associated with them?
I did not, but in terms of the event that this protest was part of, this was part of a 3-day convention that was taking place here in D.C., protesting Trump and Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And at that convention, attendees heard Senator Bernie Sanders speak, Senator Jeff Merkley, Van Jones, who's a political activist, and right after they left the Heritage Foundation, the protesters were headed to a Lutheran church on Capitol Hill, where they were going to hear Congressman Keith Ellison from Minnesota.
Oh, of course, sure, yeah. Now,
were they, at any point in time, were they given free lunch, or were they bussed from one location to the other?
Because they believe there is such a thing as a free lunch, right?
I know that they were bussed from the White House, where they were protesting first yesterday morning, over to Heritage, but I think they just walked over to the church from there. But I unfortunately didn't get to see inside the church, so I'm not quite sure about the lunch part.
Did you have to get a hazmat team to come into the Heritage Foundation to clean up the area where they were in after their departure?
Not that I know of. I think once the protest cleared out, everything was pretty much business as usual.
All right. She is Melissa Quinn, reporter for the Daily Signal. Melissa, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Support the families of fallen first responders by purchasing a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, how you can join us at our golf outing this year, and more information about the 100 Club of Chicago, how it works and who it benefits. But first, here's your forecast. Showers and heavy thunderstorms are on the way, should be hitting the Chicago area between 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. Storms could be heavy with some flooding and damaging high winds, a high of 74 degrees. Tonight, the rain and thunderstorms continue. And tomorrow, a brief morning shower, then things are going to cool off around here. It's going to be cloudy, breezy, and a high of 53 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very busy man this morning. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like suburbs and highways, expressways, toll roads are all crowded this morning. Here's Jim Telemonte.
It's crazy. I mean, you would think those storms were hitting us right now. The Kennedy is an hour and 43 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, it's an hour and 3 minutes from Montrose, 52 minutes in the Express. Outbound 53 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Edens, 33 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 30. The Eisenhower, it's actually improved a bit, but it's an hour and 22 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 48 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 24 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. The Ryan, 37 minutes. 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive has heated up. It's 39 minutes southbound Hollywood to Monroe. Slow from Hollywood all the way to North Avenue. Northbound Oakwood most of the way to Jackson. Tri-State slow southbound Washington to Eau Plaine, northbound Harlem to 31st, and from the Reagan all the way to North Avenue. The Veterans Memorial's very heavy from Boughton most of the way up to 290, southbound 53 stop and go Rand to Kirchhoff. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm James Furr. I'm a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran, and I have hepatitis C. My main focus was to take care of hepatitis C. Taking Balance of Nature did other things for me. I was feeling more energetic. My mental acuity had increased. When I play golf, I would notice that bending over to line up a putt, I would have a bit of a struggle to stand back up. But even now, 10 years later, I stand up better than I did then. Taking Balance of Nature, getting fruits and vegetables into your system is just another way to deal with hepatitis C. I will live happily with hepatitis C instead of feeling like I want to die because someone's trying to cure me of it. But thanks to Balance of Nature, I live a normal, happy, healthy, pain-free life.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer. Support the 100 Club of Chicago when you buy a foursome at AM 560's annual golf outing. Today only. Call 312-363-6680 or online at 560theanswer.com/golf.
It's easy to grin when your ships come in and you've got the stock market beat, but the man who's worthwhile is the man who can smile when his shorts are too tight in the seat. Okay, Pookie.
Okay, Ted Knight.
Yeah.
Is that right? Nice.
I missed Judge Schmale so much.
Judge Schmale.
I christen the Flying Wasp. Okay, the golf outing we want to thank so far, among others, Precision Payroll of America, Tom Sedeka. Topple Plumbing, Chicagoland Fiberglass Works. They're playing with Joe Walsh because apparently they hate playing good golf. Midwest Performance Cars, they're playing with me.
Wow.
Integrity Partnership, Robex Truck and Auto, Morrison Security, they're playing with Amy. They are already been declared the winner of the scramble.
Yes, 57 under.
6 weeks in advance, impressive. Singular Sports Zone, Armbrust Plumbing, and Condor Building.
And we've spots left, and they're filling up quickly for our annual golf outing, which is going to take place Thursday, June 15th at the beautiful yet challenging Bolingbrook Golf Club. Foursomes are $1,196. With that, you get a full day of golf, either a 7:30 morning shotgun start or a 2:30 afternoon shotgun start. We'll give you lunch. There's a silent auction. But you have to become a business benefactor as well. And the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. We'll get to that in a second. But if you are a business benefactor and purchase that foursome as a way of saying thank you, we will give you 25 60-second commercials to promote your business, to take your business to the next level. If you've ever thought, I want to get into advertising, but I'm not sure, well, now's the time to act. 312-363-6680. It's $3,000 worth of advertising for only $1,196. 312-363-6680. Call if you have any questions or if you want to sign up. And we're benefiting the 100 Club of Chicago.
And joining us from the 100 Club of Chicago is Joe Ahern. Tell us a little bit about our partner organization for this year's outing, which does great work in support of families of fallen first responders. Joe, thanks for joining us. Tell us more about the work you do on a daily basis.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for having us on, and thanks for all that you're doing for our mission. The 100 Club has been around for 50 years. We serve the families of fallen police officers and firefighters that are killed in the line of duty. And sadly, we've had 261 fatalities. That's a little more than 5 a year. And right now, we have 21 kids in college on 100 Club scholarships, and we have 67 more sons and daughters of police officers and firefighters that will be able to go to college because of events like this and with the support of your listeners. That not only are they going to have a great time being out there and golfing in Bolingbrook, and they get free commercials on 560, but we're also going to throw in membership, a one-year membership to the 100 Club, and it's a great way to get to heaven if you support the 100 Club.
There you go.
There you go. So tell us about the first time you met with a widow of a fallen first responder and presented her with a check from the 100 Club.
Yeah, Amy, that's the perhaps the saddest day of my life. It was police officer Mike Flisk, who was tragically killed the day after Thanksgiving, November 2010. Had 3 sons and a daughter, and I went to the house the next day and went in, and the boys all had police baseball caps on, and his daughter. And I said I was from the 100 Club, and we were there to help you and help your family. And now the oldest son, Mike Flisk, is a firefighter. Brian is going to graduate school in criminal justice. He's going to go on a job. Tim is in the trades, and Peg graduated from John Marshall Law School on a 100 Club scholarship, and now is a state's attorney. And these are great American families that are doing great work. But you see people a family at the worst day of their life, And then with the help of the 100 Club and, of course, the golf outing and the support of all of your listeners, we're able to provide scholarships and support for these families, and they go on to do great things.
And, this is a way for people to show their support for first responders, police officers, firefighters, paramedics, Cook and Lake County. As you're discussing, we always sell out this golf outing, so you want to grab a foursome. 312-363-6680 is the number. And this is, a cop or a firefighter is killed in the line of duty and makes the headlines, but then it goes away. And this is where the 100 Club comes in to support the family throughout. I mean, all the way through, as you just mentioned, that example, throughout their kids' education to the post-secondary level, so that this is really filling an important gap.
Yeah, we provide counseling for the families, pro bono, probate work. It goes on for the rest of their life that we're there. And most importantly, Dan, beyond the financial support and the college education, is the fact that they know that there are literally tens of thousands of people out there that care about them and really appreciate the tremendous sacrifice that they and their families have made to protect all of us. And this is a great opportunity for your listeners to support that and to come out on June 15th and Bolingbrook and golf with us, and we'd love to see you out there.
Well, especially you business owners, since Amy and I are responsible for you being on the cusp of a massive tax cut, thanks to us getting Donald Trump elected and a Republican Congress. So, just think about when your rate goes from 39.6 to 15%, you're just taking a little bit aside to support police officers and firefighters.
And the need is great, as you've pointed out. We're hoping to raise $40,000 at our golf outing. 312-363-6680 is the number. 312-363-6680. Spots are filling up quickly, so you want to get this done today.
And, just a quick backstory, because I think it's really interesting, the genesis of organizations like the 100 Club, the story behind the 100 Club. How did it start in the first place?
Well, I get asked that all the time, where did the name come from, the 100 Club. And there was a police officer who was killed in the line of duty in Detroit, 1952. A Pontiac car dealer read about the widow who was going to lose her home, and he went and paid off the mortgage, this is 1952, and paid off all of her debt. And a month later, another police officer was tragically killed, and this same Pontiac car dealer reached out to two friends, and he said, we have to help these families. And together, those three guys reached out to 100 people and started the 100 Club. And so now there's about 125 100 clubs around the country, but the 100 Club in Chicago, which covers Cook and Lake County, has been around now for 50 years and has given away over $10 million. So thanks, Dan, for having us on. Thanks for AM 560 for all you guys are doing. Thanks, Amy. And we hope to see everybody out there on June 15th.
Yeah. And the atmosphere to be a police officer is more dangerous than ever. I mean, last year alone, the increase of police officers killed in the line of duty up 67%. So they're under attack by their own fellow Americans that they're paid to protect. It's been just a crazy atmosphere. So if you want to help the 100 Club, if you want to go golfing, you can do it all together. If you want to promote your business to the next level, call right now, 312-363-6680, 312-363-6680.
A little private action, a little civic leadership. Joe Ahern from 100 Club of Chicago, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you very much.
So what do I do? Just aim for the pond?
No, you're not supposed to hit it into the water.
But you hit it into the water.
I know I hit it into the water.
Well, why do they even have water if you're not supposed to hit it there?
Because it's fun! We're having fun!
Look, it went further than your ball.
Today is 100 Club of Chicago Day on AM 560. Purchase a foursome to AM 560's golf outing to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or visit 560theanswer.com/golf.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Don't like what the big banks have been doing lately? Time to call Townstone. I guarantee you can have confidence when calling me at 312-896-2110 or going to townstone.com that our only interest is getting you the best refinance deal available and to make sure your home purchase closes on time and without headaches. Do you have a jumbo mortgage, great credit, just want a smooth refinance with low or no closing costs and a great rate? Townstone Financial is the place to contact. We beat the big banks every day, and that's not just a saying. I had a call last week on a jumbo mortgage where a bank was charging $5,000 in closing costs. Not only was Townstone able to do the loan for no closing costs, but we were also able to beat the big bank's interest rate by a quarter point. Do yourself a favor. Check with Townstone before you refinance your mortgage or start a new home purchase. We will compete with anyone. Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. So call 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois Mortgage Licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
Hey, spring is here, the birds, the bees, and you guessed it, seasonal allergies. And the last thing you need is a pillow you're allergic to. And yes, my pillow, which is the best pillow in the world, is hypoallergenic. A good night's sleep is so very important to your health, don't you know? And for April, you will receive the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, all for the price of 1. Now, with a MyPillow, you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You can get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No more waking up to a stiff neck or headache. So give our friend Mike Lindell a call over at MyPillow. He makes them in the US of A, in this great state of Minnesota. Call him right now at 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy for the 50% off that 4-pack. 50% off. Or visit MyPillow.com, promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Many of our listeners are ready to transition into a quality and worry-free retirement. Here's Mike Gibbons of the Gibbons Financial Group.
Thanks, Dan. Last year, we brought you our complimentary Social Security maximization planning, allowing listeners an optimal claiming strategy. While this was invaluable to many of you, proper planning should regard the totality of income through market movements. Our software will show you how to maximize retirement income. We'll also show you possible scenarios that could reduce your future income. This level of planning detail typically costs upwards of $1,500, but for AM 560 listeners, we're offering it at no cost. So if you're considering retirement, go to retiremetoday.com to view our retirement readiness video, or call Gibbons Financial Group at 224-419-5550 for your complimentary analysis. It's your future. That's retiremetoday.com or call 224-419-5550.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, she first dazzled. Hey, I got a story for you. She first dazzled audiences at the age of 10, gaining global recognition with her stunning debut on NBC's America's Got Talent. And since then, Jackie Evancho has released a string of platinum and gold albums fresh from her spotlight performance, singing the national anthem at the presidential inauguration. Jackie Evancho is coming to the Genesis Theater in Waukegan on Friday, May 19th. Visit genesistheater.com. And AM 560 The Answer is giving away tickets through our mobile app. So download or visit our app right now to register for your chance to win.
AM 560 The Answer.
Coming up next, another tragedy for United Airlines. This one involves a furry friend. Was it Dan's Flemish rabbit? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Outside, clouds and 64 degrees. Americans about to get their first look at President Trump's tax reform plan. The president scheduled to unveil a blueprint later today. The plan will raise the standard deduction for taxpayers, allowing many to skip itemizing. It will slash corporate rates and lower rates for small businesses and bring about some permanent change to the tax code. The attorney for San Francisco cheering a judge's ruling that, for now, blocks an executive order halting federal funding to sanctuary cities.
This is why San Francisco had to stand up on behalf of people everywhere, be they immigrants or native born. As Americans, we all have a duty to confront injustice even when it emanates from the White House.
City Attorney Dennis Herrera. Hackers are apparently taking aim at Chipotle. The Mexican restaurant chain says the company's payment processing system was hacked between March 24th and April 18th. The search is underway to find a 1-year-old girl who disappeared in Joliet. Will County sheriffs are on the scene looking for Samaja Crosby, reported missing late last night, wearing a gray long-sleeve shirt and dark blue jeans. Former Chicago auto mechanic who was on the FBI's most wanted list is due in a Cook County courtroom today. Fidel Urbina had been on the run for nearly 2 decades before being nabbed in Mexico. And a new report says former Illinois Governor Pat Quinn parked a lot of political friends and clout at IDOT. Tribune first reported on the watchdog report yesterday. A court-appointed investigator said they found hundreds who landed clout jobs at IDOT because of political connection, not talent or experience. Cubs over the Pirates 1-0. White Sox drilled the Royals 10-5. Celtics and Bulls in their pivotal Game 5 tonight in Boston. The news service of Dove Men Plus Care. Did you hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care recommend it? Dove Men Plus Care users say that their armpits aren't the worst thing at the gym anymore. Make that locker room a better place. Pick up some new Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant for your gym bag at your local retailer. 8:35. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher doesn't understand why Republicans tear each other down.
Why do Republicans act this way? Why can't Republicans embrace the power of unity, the ability to legislate and make change and fulfill the campaign promises of the guy who's at the top of the party and seems determined to do what he said he's going to do?
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Save, earn, share. Stop by a Mariano's today and score deals with their revamped rewards card. Save with personalized coupons. Earn freebies from Mariano's specialty shops. Share discounted Mariano's gift cards with friends and family. Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by making his heating and cooling system more energy efficient.
Yes.
But Harvey's afraid of the cost and if he can get a return on his investment.
I am indeed.
Plus, he's nervous about disrupting the businesses that rent space in his building. Harvey doesn't know what to do with an HVAC system that's seen better days. The Air Comfort problem solvers to the rescue. Working as a team, the Air Comfort professionals find simple solutions that make a huge impact on building efficiency and operating costs, with minimal or no disruptions to building operations. HVAC upgrades and retrofits from Air Comfort can save thousands of dollars per year. They save energy, reduce maintenance, and eliminate downtime. And buildings with better energy ratings command higher rents and selling prices, and make tenants happy. Get real solutions from the Air Comfort team of problem solvers. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com and start saving money today. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
8:37. A check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is extremely heavy with delays starting at Cumberland. It is an hour and 38 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 56 minutes from Montrose, 45 on the Express, outbound 34 to Montrose, 55 to O'Hare. Eden's 33 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27, the Eisenhower. An hour and 25 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. An hour 6 from Manheim, outbound 53 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 22 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38 minutes. The Rhine is 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound heavy Plain to 176. Northbound 87th to the Mile Long Bridge from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial bottled up from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and St. Charles to 290. In Northwest Indiana, ramps from eastbound 8094 and westbound 94. The Indiana Toll Road are closed now until May 25th. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Showers and heavy thunderstorms crossing the area later in this day. High 74, low 49 overnight. Currently 66 degrees. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Amy is playing golf over the weekend at my private club, Olympia Fields. Great courses. And we're having the Women's PGA there this summer.
All right, it's so great. I'm glad we're going to go together. It's a team bonding.
Yeah,
moment.
team building exercise.
team
We're going to get matching clothes and everything.
Mhm.
I was very frustrated because I wasn't playing particularly well. So I say to my caddy, I think I'm going to go drown myself in the lake. And he says to me, do you think you can keep your head down for that long?
Oh!
Thank
That's
you very
funny.
much.
Yeah, we still have some slots left. So join us on Thursday, June 15th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Now, foursomes are $1,196, but with that, you get a full day of golf. You can either do the 7:30 or 2:30 in the afternoon shotgun start. We'll offer you lunch. There'll be a silent auction, and the proceeds go to the 100 Club of Chicago. So if you want to sign up for the golf tournament, if you want to become a business benefactor, call this number, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. And if you're a business benefactor, as a way of saying thank you, we're going to give you 25, think about it, 25 one-minute commercials to promote your business. Dan could voice the commercials for you. I can if you'd like. And it's a $3,000 advertising values for $1,196. 312-363-6680.
And I want to thank, among the businesses who've already weighed in and participated, Precision Payroll of America, Topple Plumbing, Chicago Fiberglass Works, Midwest Performance Cars, Integrity Partnership, Robex Truck and Auto, Morrison Security, Singular Sports Zone, Armbrust Plumbing, and Condor Building, among others. And Amy, in other news, United Airlines murdered a rabbit.
And the only reason why we're interested in the story is because we don't know whose rabbit it was. It was a breeder in London. It's a giant Flemish rabbit,
They call
right?
it a giant continental rabbit. Now, I'm a bit of an expert in this area because I'm looking at obtaining a giant Flemish rabbit. And then if you remember, I was going to get a slow loris from Southeast Asia, even though they're illegal to domesticate. And I was going to have them kind of work together for my entertainment, where I would put a little saddle on the giant Flemish rabbit, and the slow loris could ride him around, like in the park or by the lake.
Or on the bike path.
Yeah,
on the
for
lakefront.
my entertainment.
Get a little leash out there and hit.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. So this distraught breeder, her name's Annette Edwards, who will soon be represented by
Tom Dimitro's conflicted out because Lionel Hutz Dimitrio is already representing the rabbit's estate.
I move for a bad court thingy.
You mean a mistrial?
Yeah. That's why you're the judge and I'm the law-talking guy.
Actual,
Right.
Actual audio from Tom Dimitro in court.
Well, the rabbit's name was Simon. He was a 10-month-old, 3-foot-long continental Flemish rabbit. And he had a vet check shortly before traveling from London Heathrow's airport to, of course, Chicago O'Hare Airport. And so they have no idea what went wrong. But the thing is, Simon had been purchased by a celebrity whom has not been identified, but it's a big, well-known person, she says. So they've got another mess on their hands. And the airline has released a statement.
Sure. We mourn the tragic passing of Simon the giant Flemish rabbit, right? I'm guessing.
No, you're not that far off.
Yes.
We were saddened by the news. The safety
The
and
United
well-being.
family grieves.
The safety and well-being of all animals that travel with us is of the utmost importance to United Airlines.
Here's what I
and
think.
our pet safe team. They're getting into an investigation.
I got a theory about this. I got
Okay,
kind of
what's
a
your theory?
Matlockian instinct on this.
Yeah.
It's a revenge killing by Dr. David Dow. Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
That's all going
Now
down.
see if
the
he's
tube.
got an alibi.
I mean, honestly, a story like this, though, will hurt their stock prices, don't you think? It's just another, I don't know if it's a black eye. I'm sure people
Yeah.
are piling on, but for United Airlines. But it's scary when you entrust an airline to get your pet from point A to point B. I really think she should have just had it as a service animal.
That's what you...
Because then she could bring it on the plane with her, where it's a controlled environment. You know, the animal's going to be comfortable.
You ship a giant Flemish rabbit.
Oh,
you
did?
ship. You don't fly it. That's the thing. Ever going to fly United again? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Want to hear from anybody who's virtue signaling and pretending that they'll never fly United again, even if they offer the best price on the ticket and trip that you're interested in. So I like to hear people get all morally indignant and all about themselves and pretend like this is going to be front and center in their minds for epochs to come.
Well, because then you think about Dr. David Dow, what happened to him, about the mother from Argentina who was almost hit with a stroller.
Well, that's un-American.
I know, but it's on. That was un-American, but it's just these incidents in the air are making headlines.
Do you think we should launch Tomahawk missiles into O'Hare Airport and take out the fleets of United and American Airlines? to stop the carnage, the abuse of American heroes like Dr. David Dow and this giant Flemish rabbit named Simon, who was going to be an American. He was looking forward to it. He was going to be naturalized.
I have to go home. I have to go home. I have to go home.
Is that the
I have to
rabbit
go home.
or David Dow? Isn't this? I don't think I can.
I mean, it's just, I want to know what celebrity's in mourning because Simon's not coming home. Simon didn't make it on the plane.
Yeah.
But what could have gone wrong? Because other animals were down there and they're fine.
No.
Maybe it was something in the water.
Yeah, I love the tweets.
Maybe he didn't want to go to Hollywood.
Maybe. Oh,
Because he
yeah.
could have been going from
assuming it's a
O'Hare to
Hollywood.
LA.
Yeah, you're assuming it's a Hollywood star.
Wait, is it yours?
It's a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity.
Some people think you're a celebrity.
No, those people are wrong. I mean, this is just
Wait, who in Chicago
I
is so famous?
Look, I like this person, but these are the kind of tweets
Okay.
that make me lose my frackin' mind. Are you ready for this?
Oh, dear.
Susan Carlson.
Yeah.
The
from
reporter.
Channel 5.
Yeah.
She owes me $20 still.
Okay, well, it's duly
Take it
noted.
up with
Please
her.
get Carlson on the blower. Send one of our guys over to NBC5. May have her make with the cash. Rocco and Moose, scramble them. She's very nice, a wonderful reporter.
She saw Timothy McVeigh get put to death. She was one of those reporters that was there.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying there was 3 reporters chosen from a nationwide pool, and she was the one who watched Timothy McVeigh die. But go on, yes.
She tweeted about the untimely demise of Simon the giant Flemish rabbit.
Oh, no.
This makes me sad. I always worry about the safety and emotional states of animals on flights. I mean, it's a perfectly nice sentiment. You know what I'm saying.
But you don't own a pet. If you own an animal and you have
I'm
to
going to
travel
get a
with it.
dog.
Now
and
that
a
you're
giant Flemish rabbit. And a slow loris. Even
To-
though
to
I'm
ride your
willing to
Flemish
get a slow loris, even though being bitten by a slow loris can induce anaphylactic shock. That's how a committed animal rights guy I am. So don't start lecturing me about loving animals, Susan Carlson. I mourn the loss of Simon. Thank you. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. We flew our 2-year-old golden retriever from O'Hare to London Heathrow. And I think we flew her British Airways because at the time, United Airlines and American made no guarantees that the animal would arrive alive. And I thought, you know, that's not really much of a guarantee when you're trying to fly your family pet. Like, we'll get the carcass there. If it has life in it, that's a bonus.
Is that written into the passenger compact with United and American, or?
You know, I don't know. It was a really, really, really hot summer, and so they just made no guarantees that the hold would be safe for pet life. And I thought, well, that's where I usually sit. So
I know. It's so
pretty okay. But, you know, the bad part is that the British don't have the best dental reputation. And later on in life, when our dog was about 15 years old, sure enough, her teeth were rotten.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the call, Ralph. So she made
Two
it
digs.
over, but the lack of fluoride over there
in the water, right?
Yeah, in the UK had some lasting negative impacts. But you know, the important thing is that
Simon.
Yeah,
Should we have a moment of silence for Simon?
there it is.
Airlines don't treat people like people anymore. You make us beg for a filthy pillow that a barnyard rat wouldn't curl up and die in, and watch pre-typed messages that make crashing look like fun. Never putting me next to a pretty girl. Look, all I want is what everybody wants. Preferential treatment.
Purchase a foursome for AM 560's annual golf outing today to benefit the 100 Club of Chicago. Call 312-363-6680 or go online to 560theanswer.com/golf.
Coming up next.
Hey, wait, we got Just Target Guns, Pro Build Professional Lighting. Is this Anion Blinds? If I'm pronouncing
Yes,
that
Anion
correctly.
Blinds.
Yeah, all right, so there's some more foursomes, so thank you to those businesses, and call us now or else.
Yes, that's what we're going to talk about next.
312-363-6680.
Yes.
Play golf, June 15th. Do it.
Today, showers, heavy thunderstorms should be hitting the Chicago area around 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. They could be nasty, bringing some flooding and damaging high winds. Hold on to your hats. A high of 74 degrees. Then tonight, the rain and thunderstorms continue. And tomorrow, a brief morning shower. Otherwise, cloudy, breezy, cooler. A lot cooler, a high of 53. Let's get those monstrous travel times, and hopefully they've gone down. Here's Jim Telemonte, who joins us from our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Amy, no such luck. Your inbound Kennedy is an hour and 38 minutes. O'Hare to downtown with delays starting at Cumberland. 56 minutes from Montrose, 45 in the Express. Outbound 55 to the airport. Eden's 33 minutes. Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound 25. The Eisenhower, an hour and 22 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 42 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. The Rhine is 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive still very heavy on the north side. 39 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound delays start at Oakwood. Tri-State improving. The only delays are northbound. 75th to 47th. And Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial slope out into the Reagan Tollway and St. Charles to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Some exciting news about Woodfield Nissan. Now, if you waited to buy your next car, there may never be a better opportunity to buy because Woodfield Nissan is drastically reducing the prices on all their new and used cars to make room for incoming inventory. Now, this is your chance to save between $4,000 to $14,000 off MSRP on brand new Nissans, and every new Nissan is on sale. No models will be held back. There's sure to be a car or a truck for you, so don't waste your time shopping around. Just go to Woodfield Nissan in Hoffman Estates. Choose from a huge collection of 2017 Nissan Altimas, Sentras, Rogues, and much more. Now available with 0% APR financing for 72 months. So what are you waiting for? The only place in the Midwest that I recommend you buy your new Nissan, Woodfield Nissan, just 2 miles west of the Woodfield Shopping Mall at Golf and Higgins, or just go to woodfieldnissan.com.
Prices are plus tax, title, license, and dock fee, and savings off MSRP. 0% to qualified buyers is $1,389 for $1,000 financed on select models. 2 or more available at this offer.
Hey, did you know that the cell phone you're holding right now is likely supporting the liberal agenda of Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders? It's true. Most of the big cell phone companies contribute to the pro-abortion agenda, gun control, and open borders. That's why you should use that cell phone in your hand and call 1-800-A-PATRIOT to switch to Patriot Mobile, the nation's only conservative cell phone company. Patriot Mobile offers the same great nationwide coverage you're used to, the newest cell phones, and they'll even buy out your current contract with credits up to $500 per line or $1,500 per account. And when you switch to Patriot Mobile, they'll donate up to 5% of their monthly proceeds to the conservative cause of your choice at no extra cost to you. You can bring your number and your phone or get new ones. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT right now to get a plan and device that fits your needs, or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe. Use promo code Joe and they'll waive the activation fee. 1-800-A-PATRIOT or patriotmobile.com/Joe. Promo code Joe.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I found out several years ago that I have hepatitis C, and I didn't want to be one of those guinea pigs that the doctors wanted to try all sorts of different things on. So I was looking for a more healthy alternative, and that's how I found Balance of Nature. I have had absolutely no symptoms since I started taking Balance of Nature. Within 3 months, my liver enzymes were next to normal, and they had been very highly elevated. I enjoy a very full life. I own several businesses, and I'm working 60 hours a week, and before I started taking Balance of Nature, I couldn't even work full-time.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Culture is everything. When a nation replaces individual rights and the rule of law with silly-hearted, value-free multiculturalism, freedom dies. Last week's terrorist attack in Paris is another awful reminder of how this plays out in practice. Trying to cure a sick culture is like being in the throes of Italian fever. By the time the symptoms show, you're a goner. So how do we give American culture a checkup as to our present ability to be both a free society and the greatest melting pot in human history? Last week's referendum in Turkey that codified Erdogan's authoritarian rule rule into law was a useful stress test. 97% of Turks are Muslim. Turks living in Germany and the Netherlands, two countries that pride themselves on migrant friendliness, voted 63% and 70% respectively in favor of the referendum, despite opposition from officer-friendlies Merkel and Rutte. By contrast, Turks in the United States, which isn't perceived to be nearly so migrant-friendly, particularly of late, voted 83% against the referendum. The lesson for healthy living? Acting like a doormat to dogmatic Islamists makes them more so, not less so. The prognosis for American culture on this score? A long life ahead.
When it comes to your home, nothing's more important than your roof. Everything underneath depends on it, right? Even if it's not leaking just yet, you know it's important to be proactive and repair or replace it before you have a problem. And if you're in Chicagoland, the decision on who to call is easy. You call the Champion. That's Champion Roofing. For over 3 decades, Champion Roofing has provided great service and beautiful roofs at competitive prices. It starts with the Champion expertise. Using quality materials plus the latest high-tech equipment, Champion skilled tradesmen will complete your job on time and to your satisfaction. So if a new or repaired roof is on your list this spring, don't hesitate to call the Champion of Roofing now. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Call Champion Roofing today for your free estimate, 847-673-7663, or visit championroofing.com. That's 847-673-7663, or online at championroofing.com. 847-673-7663.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, our golf outing is June 15th. I know everybody comes out to see Amy, hang out with Amy, but you can also feel good about yourself. You can have a cover story that's to help the 100 Club of Chicago. They're our partner this year with the golf outing. The 100 Club of Chicago provides support and assistance to families of fallen first responders. And Joe Ahern has been with us all morning from the 100 Club of Chicago. Joe, thanks again for partnering with us on this event and for all the good work that you do. And why don't you describe some of it?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. Thanks, Amy. And thanks to AM 560 for having us and for the great support you're giving us. On June 15th, people get to come out and play golf and support the 100 Club. And we have 45,000 first responders just in Cook and Lake County that help support your businesses and your families and protect you. And sadly, sometimes they don't come home. And we've had 261 fatalities over the last 50 years. That's a little more than 5 a year. And right now we have 21 kids in college. We have 67 more sons and daughters that whose dads have paid the ultimate sacrifice that we need to send to college in the future. And by coming out and golfing with us at Bolingbrook on June 15th, you'll be able to help support those. And
to become part of the business benefactor and to golf with us, call this number 312.
And to see Amy.
Yeah, to see Dan. Come on, 312-363-6680. That's 312-363-6680. If you're a business benefactor, it's $1,196 for a foursome, but we'll give you, as a way of saying thanks, 25 60-second commercials. And again, we're hoping to raise $30,000 to $40,000 for the 100 Club of Chicago.
That advertising deal, that's $3,000 worth of advertising for $1,196 for the foursome, plus the fun of the day and playing golf and supporting the families of fallen first responders. 7:30 and 2:30 shotgun starts, so you can do the morning or the afternoon. There's a luncheon, there's a silent auction, there's good, clean American fun, Amy.
And we know how you like to play games with balls.
I am a dominant volleyball player, I am a dominant basketball player.
Why are you embarrassing me in front of our guest? Joe Ahern, in terms of just what you do, just fill in the blanks a little bit more so people understand exactly where their support is going in terms of how it makes it to families.
Sure, thanks, Dan. When a police officer or firefighter dies in a line of duty, I show up within the first 24 hours to provide the family with a check for $50,000. There's no wait. There's no bureaucracy. There's no forms to fill out. We're just there to help the family with financial support. And then we help send all the kids to college. And thankfully, we have 23 colleges that provide full scholarships for our kids. And as I said earlier, we have 21 kids in college right now and 67 more that will be coming of age that go off to college.
And you do really a wonderful, wonderful work. And to help out, please call this number, 312-363-6680, 312-363-6680. We have a few spots left if you want to golf with us, if you want to help the 100 Club of Chicago.
Joe Ahern, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. We'll see you on June 15th.
Looking forward to the golf outing now. We're going to look forward to the headlines with Mike Scott.